Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome in. Oh, hang on for a split second. Hey, Phobos, hang on for a split second there, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we got some
I don't know
scuff.
if it's the two of you.
No, we got some scuff here. Hang on. My model's a little fucky right now. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes this thing doesn't want to move whenever I load in the model, so... But yeah, so hang on for a second. Let me go ahead and... There we go. Yep, so let me go through the list. Hi, Lilac. Hi, Derp. Hi, Rama. How you all doing today? Because I have a very, very special announcement. And let me ask you, Phobos. You like Zoids, right?
Oh, I dabble.
You dabble a little bit. So that also means that you also, need some hobby tools and stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I can now, I can direct you to my new sponsorship, which I've already kind of spoiled it by putting in the panels, but let me grab the logo here because I do have a website for you that you can go to now. And
Well, you spoiled me.
And the new sponsor is HobbyLink Japan.
Audible gas.
Yeah. No, we are now officially sponsored by HobbyLink motherfucking Japan.
Hell yeah.
The #1 import store for all of your model kit and anime figure needs. So, they have a wide variety of Zoids right now. In fact, if I look at the Zoids panel, in fact, actually one of the featured advertisements that I could put on my stream is Zoids.
Oh, perfect.
Funny enough, because they are advertising the RMZ line.
Actually, speaking of Zoid product lines, did you happen to catch my new video?
I haven't, no, I haven't. I saw the notification.
Yeah, I went out just going over the 5 current lines, because there's 5 of them.
So, let me get this straight. So we have... So, Wild, I believe, is still a thing, right? That's still a line that's still going on, right?
No, the Wild line is finished as far as we know.
Okay. So, we have the RMZ line. We have the HMM line.
Yep.
What lines do we have now?
We still have the AZ line, the Advanced Z line.
Okay.
We've got the Adamus Machina diecast action figure line.
Okay, so that's 4. Yeah.
And the 5th one is the upcoming Metamorverse by Kotobukiya.
Yeah, that's that's kind of like Kotobukiya's answer to Megami Device or Frame Arm Girls.
Yeah, which is weird because Kotobukiya is Frame Arms Girls.
Yeah, they own both of those. And so now this is kind of like their own, I guess, now a third line of anime girls and armor.
Yeah, I've mentioned that a couple of times when people bring up Metamorverse. Kotobukiya's been doing Zoids for almost 2 decades.
Yeah,
and
it's
they've
insane.
done Frame Arms Girls the entire time. And now they're only thinking, maybe we should do that. Yeah, that thing that makes all your money? Why don't you do that?
Yeah, because I'm gonna be real, I'm super stoked about this because a lot of you guys build model kits and a lot of you guys build Zoids, so now you can use my referral link to go to HLJ to get a little bit bang for your buck for your next online purchase.
I think I might just do that as soon as they start taking pre-orders for the Salamander.
Yeah. So, I actually just dropped my RMC, my RMC Genosaur.
Well, the good news is somebody posted up a fall test on the RMZ Blade Liger, and pretty sturdy. Definitely a lot sturdier than the HMM one.
I don't know. The ankles on mine is beg to differ.
Yeah, I've heard some ankle issues, but it's definitely overall to be fair, the HMM Blade Liger is almost 20-year-old design. It's not.
It aged like milk.
It looks really nice. I gotta say, it looks much more aggressive than the old Tomy ones. It looks like it's something that could attack but it's
Yeah.
it's a hand grenade. You have to glue everything.
Yeah, and also like yes, and also the good thing. Have you ever, well, Phobos, have you ever ordered from HLJ before?
Oh yeah, I get stuff from them from time to time.
Yeah. So for those who don't shop at HLJ, so the good thing about HLJ is that if you don't want your stuff to be shipped out, or if you want like a mass bulk item, what you can do is that they have a pile of loot feature, which is their private warehouse. Now, granted, after COVID, they kind of got a little fucky, I'm not going to lie. But you can have your items up to, I want to say up to 3 months before you can ship them out. And you can ship them out how many you want. You can have them all shipped out at once. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4. It don't matter. And you just pay the
Still up to
shipping.
3 months?
Huh?
It's still up to 3 months? Because I know several Japanese sellers usually give you a month, but they upped it to 3 when COVID started happening because people were, well, broke.
Well, no, it's so HLJ has always had this. They've always had like a 3-month waiver on their private warehouse. Now, Now after COVID is when their private warehouse got a little fucky. So it will sit there and say, you know, such and such days until an automatic shipment. Now, I have had orders from HLJ since then that had been sitting in a private warehouse, like, well beyond that. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually take full advantage of that kind of thing that Japanese sellers do, because I use HLJ more, but I use a lot of Yahoo Japan just because Yahoo Japan sells a lot of used and broken junk, which HLJ usually doesn't do that kind of thing.
Yeah, HLJ is really fucking good. And then you have like different shipping methods of like how you want your items to be shipped. You can do the cheapest route, which is 3 months, which yeah, I wouldn't recommend it unless you really are struggling for cash. Now,
yeah, I usually wait like the full extent for the warehouses and just get some more paychecks in the meantime. It works.
But also I want to, since you're here, we can kind of go over some of the Zoids that are in stock that you can get right now, actually.
Well, I have to pay my PayPal credit today and then mortgage in a couple of days, so I can. But in a couple of weeks.
We don't talk about the PayPal credit situation here because what I did with that is I'm still paying for it.
Yeah, I was trying to help some people out on a bit in debt, but
for me is I really wanted a King Gogeless.
Yeah.
And I found a King Gogeless that was like, it didn't cost you an arm, a leg, a kidney, and a toe.
Yeah.
Because they're rare.
Did you guys in the Zoids US Discord server they were posting up on Yahoo Japan, there was a new option for a blue King Gogeless.
Oh yeah, those are stupidly rare.
Yeah, it's the only second time I've ever seen one come up for auction, and the last one I did pay attention to went for like 10 grand.
Yeah. So there's also, well, I don't want to go. I don't want to get into like other websites because this is the like sponsorship stream. But there was like one Zoid I saw on another site that I slept on, and someone bought it, and they're hard to find. And I normally don't go for clear Zoids, but this one was just kind of an exception. And to this day, I regret it, and I'm kind of kicking myself. It was the pure, like the clear, I mean like crystal clear Bio Mega Raptor.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. I
don't have that one either.
Say what?
I don't have that one either. That one's eluded me.
Same. I saw it once, and I was like, you can't see it, but like I'm putting up my 2 little fingies here. I was like that close from popping it.
There's also a glow in the dark Bio Mega Raptor.
I have that one.
I want that one too. It's just so. I feel like I think there's only like a handful of glow in the dark Zoids products. There's that Bio Mega Raptor. There's a glow in the dark Xenobreaker, X Breaker Blade thingies. Those so a very small amount of them.
So that one is the Bio Mega Raptor Glermund, is what it's called.
I didn't know it had a name. I thought it was just...
Yeah, it's called the Bio Mega Raptor Glermund, and I think it's, of course, knowing Zoids, it's probably German.
I mean, broken German.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Zoids can't go. They're like Xeon. They can't go 20 seconds without like doing something German. It's like the creators of Zoids said, like, it was like, the German language exists. The creators of Zoids, I'll take your entire stock.
Yeah, I think they do that. I think Japan does that with several IPs for like military things. It's just they hear German and they just immediately associate military, which I'm sure there's various reasons for it. But I guess to be fair, German is very like
It's an aggressive
throaty
language.
and authoritative, so it sounds military.
Yeah, like there is a video of like comparing all the different languages compared to German. And my Oma has been teaching me German, so mine's a tiny bit rusty. But it sounds aggressive. Like, it sounds very
I
aggressive.
think you're the only other. I think you're the only other person I know who knows that word.
There is Kosaiba, which is pen. There is
Oma.
Oma. Yeah, Oma means grandmother.
Yeah, because well, I mean, because when I was growing up, my grandma and grandpa were like my grandma mostly was kind of the no, we're not going to be this antisocial. Everybody's coming for every holiday. We're all going to eat dinner together. Stop being antisocial. And they always had us from the age of little tiny kids call them Omi and Opa. And
Yeah, that's what mine did too for a while.
Just a slight variant of Oma, and I'm like.
Also, hi Jay, welcome in. We're talking about today's new sponsor.
Yes, Poppy Link Japan.
Yes, and I'm in my Zoids out because we're gonna go over Zoids.
Oh,
And to answer your to like continue what you were saying, Phobos, is that like a lot of German names are very aggressive sounding. Like it fits because a lot of like Zoids that have German names look very fucking aggressive. Like you got Gold Kaiser, which just means God Emperor.
To be fair, I think God Kaiser looks absolutely goofy. It looks like
does.
an even more anatomically wrong theropod with big, grabby
It's
badger
supposed to be a
hands.
T-Rex, but it's like a squat Oompa Loompa.
It's got big badger hands for some reason.
And then you have like Konigwolf, which just means King
Yes.
Wolf.
I mean, it is a good bit bigger than the older wolves. So.
Yeah, it looks in charge. And then you have, of course, you have the Berserkfahrer, which just means berserking leader.
Yeah.
And then you
They
got,
changed his name for localization.
for obvious reasons. And then like human characters, you have like Gunther Prosen, which is very German. Then you have Rudolf, which is also very German.
Yeah.
So it's just likes to finger fuck the German dictionary. And like I said, like with German language, you have things like Kosaiba, which just means pen. You have Flotzag, which just means plane. You don't even want to know what they call the ambulance and the hospitals in German.
Oh yeah, it's like something or rather wagon, the Krankenwagen.
Yeah, the Krankenwagen for ambulance, and then you got Krankenhaus for hospital.
I actually used some audio from Shy Lily when she was speaking. She was hanging out with Kobo and speaking some German.
I mean,
With
granted,
Kobo,
even I will sometimes just scream out in German. I'll like if I get frustrated enough, I'll just sit there and say Scheiße.
Kobo just found out Shy Lily was German. She's like, "You're Germany."
You're Germany. Yeah, no. We're going straight up Italian. They're not. She's not German. She's Germany.
I actually now I say that to my cats. Apparently in German, that's what you say to cats instead of like meow meow. She's like started and bordered and harder and body.
That's funny.
You can't get the attention of cats.
And then like over here on HLJ, we got here's all the Zoids that are available too. Sorry, no, like I've also wanted to like go over this as well. So like over here on HLJ.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, so we have the I'm trying to make sure that this does not dox me. But yeah, so like here we have like the Spider-Man Zoid. Which
That comes out this month, right? Is that got a release date?
it does. It's July. God, I'm dyslexic. April of this year, and it will typically
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes it'll give you a release date, but sometimes they're a little bit fucky-wucky in that they will release it prior to that. And then I will say this Zoid has like such a metal name.
Oh yeah,
The Death Spider.
Spy Death.
Or Spy
Friggin'
Death,
thing.
yeah. It's fucking metal.
And it comes with Spider-Man figures.
Yep, and then it comes with, then there's also the Venom variant, because of course, because you can't have Spider-Man without Venom. But I also think it's funny because now it goes full circle, because Zoids was in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, back in the 80s,
Yep.
Zoids did a Marvel crossover. Although, well, it wasn't really a crossover. It was Spider-Man and Zoids on the cover, which makes you think, oh, it's a crossover. No, what they mean is, this is a bundle comic. One of Zoids, one of Spider-Man, because we want to resell Spider-Man.
Yeah, and also, this is such a badass, like, box art.
Oh, yeah, the art is... I don't know who did the art, but man, they're... Oh, that's so
okay,
sick.
I'm not a fan of the Spider-Man in the box art, but, like, everything else just looks really good. And then...
I just got a weird comment.
Say what?
I just got a weird comment. It popped up on my phone. Somebody commented on Facebook, I will not, in capital letters, allow myself to be beaten, again, capital letters, by you. I'm going to click, what?
Wait, what?
Oh, okay. He's quoting Hilt. Okay, he's not talking to me. He's quoting Hilts from the anime. I thought somebody was being super offensive with me for no reason.
Also, Jay, what do you think about all this? I don't know if he's there. I don't know if he's still here or not.
He's on mute.
Oh yeah,
might
he's
be
on,
doing
he's
things.
on mute. Yeah.
I'm also doing
No,
some boy wifing because I won't be home for a bit.
No, you guys are fine. And then, so this one, okay, I will say this about this particular Zoid. I have never seen an HMM Zoid get sold out so fast than the Redra.
Oh, yeah.
This thing was popular when it got released.
Yeah. And everybody who's gotten one has said nothing but positive things about the Redler. It's.
Yeah, no, I have one. I have one of these.
I actually don't. I have like 4 or 5 of the Tomy one, but I don't have an HMM one yet.
This one is really good. Like, it's really worth the hype. Now, the good thing about the Redra / Redler, because they have released both. They have released the Redler and then the Redra.
Yeah. I think it's just the Gylo is purple and the Xenobus one is red.
Yeah. So what's cool about it is that it uses no polycaps.
Really?
Yep. It is one of the few modern HMM Zoids that does not use polycaps.
Weird.
The other one is the Rev Raptor.
Now I do have Rev Rep. Actually, got 2 of those.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I do recommend. I also recommend this one too for like newbies. It is.
Oh yeah.
It is insanely posable for what it is.
Yeah, it's one of the usual ones that people. No, it's the usual comment question because I post Zoids all the time. It's like, what's a good one? What's a good HMM kit for beginner? I'm like, oh, the Redler, the Godos,
Gunsniper, Godos. Yeah, a lot of them are.
Rev Raptor. Rev Raptor and the Redler usually because they're usually cheap and they're easy to build.
Yeah. And what's cool about this Zoid is that it comes with additional parts, so you can actually mount it with the laser cannons here. You got 2 different variants of laser cannons, and then you also have missiles that you can also put under it as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I'm actually surprised you don't
I
have
don't think I've ever showed you, but I do have the Black Redler from the Chaotic Century anime. Some guy in Mexico made it for me.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, it's got a unique head and missile thingies.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Well, I don't think we'll ever get that in an HMM, but like, for some reason they don't want to do things that are anime related anymore.
Oh, it's just because of ShowPro, really. They don't want to pay the licensing fees for ShowPro, which I'm sure they started jacking them up year after year.
Yeah, and that's why they're doing battle story ones.
Yeah, which they say, we only have like a handful of exceptions. All the anime Zoids are mostly stock. So, like, there's no reason you can't just wipe the character off the box until it has a stock military unit.
Yeah.
Only a handful. Like, Cena's Gunsniper was unique, Naomi's was unique, and then Harry Champ's Darkhorn. But, like, Bit Liger Zero, completely
It's
stock,
just a
has
Liger
no
Zero.
unique. Yeah.
And then, I also noticed like this one was also really popular with customizers.
Oh yeah.
Like especially like the HMM Redra, it is a very, very popular Zoid for people who want to customize things. And what I think is really cool, and they added this little feature to it, and I think it's also in the anime, but they also added a 2 little Vulcan guns on the bottom jaw.
Oh yeah.
You can see them right there. Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah.
But like,
Look at-
but I still love how absolutely freaking poseable it is.
It's so cute.
It's
Speaking of posable,
adorable.
get around to watching the video on the Metamorverse thing I did the other day. I uploaded a few pictures of the Chibi Blade Liger that comes with it.
Mhm.
I think it might be more posable than the D-Style version.
Oh yeah, I might. You know what? We might actually look at that here in a little bit.
Yeah, because like I was looking up some pictures of it just for the video, and I'm like, wow, it has this adorable pose. Its bunny ears are posable now.
I honestly can't wait for those to come out. Like genuinely, I can't wait for those.
I mean, I do have all the anime girl figures, mostly because it's, it was a short line, and I collect all things Zoids. But I also do love keeping Zoids, so I have plausible deniability of why I'm going to be buying busty frame arms girls with thick thighs.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with them. They actually are really good model kits. I have one, but they're very, very good. We'll actually take a look at some of them here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So, sorry, what now?
Huh?
In fact, actually, I'm actually looking to get in this one here on Friday. This is the RMZ Command Wolf.
Oh, is that out already?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
out, and there's only 2 left. So get it now while you can, and use my referral link to get it.
I will. I'm honestly myself. I'm actually going to be skipping the RMZ line just because I don't have another diorama table to put a different scale of Zoids. Unless
I'm actually thinking about making a diorama set for my Zoids now because I've seen your stuff. So
I have sent 2 different DMs on 2 different platforms to Tomy Plus, because if they actually do want to sponsor me, I will get the RMZ line.
I highly recommend it. The Blade Liger's a little wonky. The Genosaur is perfect.
I'm just trying to be a little bit financially savvy by only keeping up with the AZ, HMM, and the other lines.
Yeah.
Because 1/100 scale wouldn't fit in with my diorama, so I'd have to put them somewhere else.
No, that's fair. I will say that though, is that like right now, so far, like the Genosaur is perfect. Like it is pretty much what I want out of like a modern Genosaur.
I can't wait to get the. I think it's in August. We get the AZ Genosaur. I want a nice lineup of HMM, AZ, and RMZ. I want to see how they all look together.
I will say it is significantly smaller than the HMM, but the quality of the RMZ Genosaur to the HMM one, it's night and day.
Yeah,
it is.
Genosaur
is actually night and day. It's so scary.
Yeah, that's one of the things that kits. I think somebody actually was asking on Reddit the other day, what's one of the worst HMMs? I'm like,
Genosaur.
The early Ligers, Genosaur, and Iron Kong are probably the worst ones.
Now, see, I didn't have a problem with the Iron Kong. It's just the chest cavity is really, really futzy. But like, other than that,
it uses the same joints as the old Shield Liger, so they're not like snug or ball joints like they are in the Liger Zero, and it's got a ton of little fiddly parts that need to be glued on because it'll shed them.
Now, the one thing that really surprised me about the AZ Zoid line is the Sea Panther.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that exists. I love that thing.
It's a weird Zoid, and there's really not a whole, like in terms of lore, there's not a whole lot about it. It's basically just an amphibious artillery vehicle.
Yeah, it's just an old Xenodus Zoid from the OJR era, and I mean, to be fair, like it's really, if you're gonna make an animal-shaped, mech, it's just really peak what it should be. Like you can just storm up a beach, it can hide in its shell, and it's perfect. It's crap.
Yeah, it's basically like the beach vessels from Saving Private Ryan, basically.
Yeah.
And what I think is kind of interesting about the Sea Panther are the shells, because you can see here on the side, they're like little barnacles.
Yeah, it's got cute little barnacle. It's got a missile box.
I don't know what what the barnacles. I'm wondering if those are just for aesthetic purposes, or they're just. Knowing Zoids, they're probably another canon.
I could ask Falk if they've ever mentioned what the little barnacle things are, if they've ever used them. But it might be one of those things like the Liger Zero Tail, where it might get a name mentioned and no one's ever used it ever.
True. And like here you actually have like interchangeable parts as well, which I think is really cool. Also, Rama, thank you for redeeming your first. But this is really cool though. So like you have like interchangeable parts for the antenna and the mouthpiece.
Yeah,
to make
super. I only have one. I'm gonna debt him because I only have one Sea Panther and he's missing his missile box. I'm gonna be a friend.
I actually don't have a Sea Panther.
It's a cute little guy.
It's a cute.
He was at one, but I assume this one's gonna be battery operated.
It's just like this one is. I don't know. It's just the Sea Panther has never been on my radar for like a Zoid that I want to grab. And then we also have things like the Storm Sorter, which is still in stock, which this one I do highly recommend. If you don't have an HMM Storm Sorter, I would get one. It's really flipping good. I don't know, do you have one, Phobos?
I have 3, I think, Tomy Storm Sorters and 1, 2, only 2 HM members. Definitely a good one.
Now, there is another variant of this. I don't know if you've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Rosso and Viola versions.
Oh yeah, the Ereberone one. Yeah, that's I got that one too. That one's it's got a few unique parts.
Yeah, to replicate them. I think it's actually one of the last anime kits too.
Yeah.
Now I will say the one thing that was a kind of a pain in the ass are these little flaps right here that connect its wing to like something. I don't know what they're for. I kind of just opt them out because really there's no need for them.
Okay. Sorry, I had to turn on the TV.
Oh no, you're fine. No, I'm wondering if they're like, I don't know, meant to like maybe keep the wings from sagging a little bit.
All right, sorry. What point? What part were we talking about?
We're talking about this little. Oh, hang on. There we go. We're talking about this little square bit here on the wing.
Oh, that little part.
I don't know what it's for. I'm.
I don't really know either. The wings are actually quite sturdy, so it doesn't need the extra support.
I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice little detail. It's not a windbreaker.
All right, so the Ereberone version, in addition to different colors from Rosso Viola, the little arms there under its wings, they have 3 pegs on them, whereas the stock version, it's just flat, and it holds 3 missiles on each wing. So it's got that.
It's like in the anime.
And then the claw hand thingies, instead of being claw hand thingies, they are claw hand thingies, but they can fold down to showcase the hidden gun.
Yeah, and then I think the lower beak has like another Vulcan on it. I think.
Remember that part, but yeah, it has missiles and a hidden gun, so it's like actually useful as an aerial unit. Because the stock Storm Sorter is basically just built for dogfights and not much else.
Yeah, because like to me the Storm Sorter is a cool Zoid, but it's also weird in that it is meant for close quarters combat, but it's also a high speed fighter jet. So it's essentially like it's like a dogfighter, but not even like a dogfighter. It's more of like a hidden runner, where it will come in and slice
like a chest gun on it.
Yeah, the Storm Sorter's job is to come in, slice something, and then run, and then turn around, dive, and then slice again. It's literally just like death by 1,000 cuts. The Zoid. It's
also got a sword on its face, so the Storm Sorter is continuing the long proud Helix tradition of using your face as a weapon.
Pretty much. And then this is okay. So these are kind of interesting. So we have the Molgas that are coming out. So the first Molga.
Yeah.
So the first one is the RMZ Molga. Which
Yeah, the little guy.
Yeah, I'm skipping on this one just because like I have a Molga. Now, what's really cool is I saw like a little bit of a shot, and I think it's a promotional shot of like a few Molgas, and then like an Iron Kong like standing behind them, like in a like almost like in an Imperial Elephant March. Now,
I think that's what they were rolling up with. Well, I think they do it several times in the battle story, but that's how they started the Imperial forces in Chaotic Centuries. They pretty much just had Molgas and like one decent unit, like a Dark Horn or an Iron Kong, and the rest were just Molgas.
Yeah, and then here, now this is also kind of cool. So, so it's not anime accurate or model kit accurate, but you take off like a little bit of the. I want to say it's the thorax. It's a grub. So,
oh yeah,
but we're just for the sake of the argument, thorax, and then it has a missile pod. Where in the anime it had like laser cannons.
Yeah, but I think the missiles are canon because they use them in the game.
Yeah, but I mean, going by like anime.
I realized that until I started playing Zoids versus 2, that the Molgas are actually dangerous because they're so short. They're immune to most bladed weapons, and they have those hidden missiles which actually hurt quite a bit.
Oh, I need to start doing that then and be a little shit.
Yeah, I was in my Blade Liger and started firing at him, and I realized quickly that the Blade Liger is too tall to slice at the Molgas with the blades.
And then we have, now this is actually an HMM Zoid I do highly recommend to people. So this is the upcoming, like, all-in-one Molga set. So you have literally all the parts to make all the different variants of the Molga. So you have, like, the Cannonry from Genesis, you have the AA Molga, the Carrier Molga, and then you can also make the stock Molga.
That's cool.
Yeah, now this is all, like I said, this is a Zoid I do highly recommend to people because you literally get 2 Zoids for the price of 1. You can build 2 Molgas. I think that's super cool.
I could build more of my Molga army. I think I have like 7 or 8, but they're so cute. They look adorable. The more you get, like, you can make a Molga train, and it's just super cute.
That's adorable. Have you now?
I'm sure it's horrifying to the Republic side, but just looking at it from the outside, it's like, look, there's a train of little caterpillars.
Now, are you aware of the life-size Molga?
Oh yeah, it's in the
It's in a toy museum.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it starts with an M. Yeah, it's in a toy. It actually just got renovated.
Yeah, and I've seen like people refurbish that thing. It looks nice now.
Yeah, they closed it down for a few months because it was just like getting torn up and under disrepair. They fixed it all up, new paint job. It looks amazing.
Now the Zoid that's coming out this month. So we have a Zoid that's coming out this month, and that is the RMZ Hellcat.
Dude, is that a Defiant?
It is a Deathbeam. Yeah, HLJ back in the day would actually sell these. Like,
oh, look at the little hill.
Like if we take a look now, granted it's on back order, which that means you can put down a pre-order for this. So when they do pre-orders, right? So they'll do things called back order. So what it means is that they'll get a shipment and you can put down a pre-order for it. And
weird, because I'd be shocked if they just pulled up another Defiant. They're not exactly super common.
And like, look at the release date. It came out in 2003.
Yeah, it's old.
Needless to
go back, I saw something weird.
Needless to say, I don't think we'll be seeing this back in stock anytime soon.
Probably not. I don't even have one. But did I see a Shotwalker?
Yeah, you got Lightyear, you got Shotwalker. Yeah. So basically, this is all because I haven't like sorted them out. So these are basically like all the stuff that they have released over the course of like 20 decades, or not 20 decades. Good lord, it's that long, everybody. No, 2 decades or more of like Zoid stuff. So like you have things like the Zoids graphics, Lightyear, the Hammerrock. You have the Wild Zoids that came out. Zoids Battle World.
So fun fact, the Shotwalker up there, that's not a Zoid.
Yeah, it's a walker, ain't it?
Yeah, it's literally just a vehicle with spider legs. It's not a Zoid at all. It is part of the Zoid's universe and IP, but it's not actually a Zoid.
Yeah, and then like if I remember correctly, things like Dauntless, Deathpian, Golem, and Road Skipper aren't they like artificial Zoids or not real Zoids?
I'm pretty sure they're just old Zoids. They just got a weird scale for some reason.
I will say they look nice, and they're also I know Road Skipper and Deathpian are also very popular with collectors.
Oh yeah, the 120 scale or 124 scale in general is people like those things.
Yeah, no, they look like really good Zoids. I have always so if I go to another site, I could find these easily. Like I can go on like say another site that I usually go to, and they're not a common site, but they show up frequently.
They actually kind of pulled a genius thing like they did with Wild with the 124 scale line. Like the Zoids and motors are the exact same size as the ones they were already doing.
Yeah.
But all you did was you made a pilot figure that was bigger.
Now, here's the other thing though, is that if you don't like Zoids, which I don't know how, but if you're on this channel and if you don't like Zoids, well, HobbyLink Japan has a wide variety of stuff for you to cover anything that you want. So you have like your anime figures here. So this is their spotlight. So these are all the items that are just coming in that you can put down for pre-order. And they have things like 52 Toys Beast Box, which I actually do have one on my desk. These are really nice.
Oh, I got one of them.
Yeah, they're really nice. And they're fairly cheap.
Well, another fun fact, 52 Toys, one of the employees there / designers, her name is Catfish.
Mm-hmm.
And before she started working at 52 Toys, she was doing Wonder Festival kits, and she's also working for Kotobukiya right now. And she started helping them with designing the Zero X and then the Conic Wolf, and presumably the Salamander.
No wonder that it's a jump in quality.
Eh?
Because like the Conic Wolf is like chef's kiss.
Oh yeah,
that is peak. No, I'm saying like no wonder there's a jump in quality with HMM Zoids.
Oh yeah. I don't know, it might have been a coincidence, but as soon as they hired Catfish, that same time window, like the quality went up.
Yeah, it did. So this one's coming out too. So this one was announced for the Year of the Snake. So this is Gale. It's a Cobra that can actually cram into a box.
Cute.
It's really cute. And then they have like, so if we go here and we do things like stock status. So we go to stock status here. So these are all the items that they have for sale. Now, this one right here, I've been kind of eyeballing. I've seen this in person too. It's pretty big. I've seen this in person while I was visiting my friend. So this one, for those who watch Kamen Rider, they do have, so HLJ does also have Kamen Rider stuff as well. But, if you watch Kamen Rider O's specifically, there is a Kamen Rider called Kamen Rider Birth. And his...
I don't like that.
Oh, no, you'll understand why here in a little bit. So, his gimmick is that he can summon a giant robo scorpion with, like, different mechanical parts.
Neat.
And when he adds all the parts of the scorpion onto his body, he is called Kamen Rider Birth Birthday Mode.
Birthday mode?
Yes, it's literally what it's called.
I like it now. That's...
Yeah. So, fun story about O's is that they spent the majority of the budget for the show to pay the American Greeting Card Company for the rights to sing Happy Birthday on the show.
Right, it's copyright.
And oh my god, did they get their money's worth. Because they have a guy on the show, his name is Kogami. And Kogami, his famous thing is that he likes to sing Happy Birthday and make cakes. But Kogami is like a key character. He kind of knows a lot of the lore of O's and the greeds and the yummies. Yes, the main villains are called greeds, and the monsters of the day, they're called yummies.
I mean, I've heard sillier things.
Well, the yummies are the personification of your desire, but it's your desire cranked up to 20.
I mean, I did just start watching that Red Ranger gets isekai anime because you suggested it, and it's. I've been hearing some silly Senju Sentai stuff, and I love it.
Yeah, so I love shows like that because basically it's anime fans getting introduced to the tokus, not even Super Sentai, but like tokusatsu tropes. In fact, actually, if we look here, so Kamen Rider. So we go here for Kamen Rider. And people are scratching their heads trying to make heads or tails of it. So like here we have a wide variety of different Kamen Rider stuff. And they have a lot of like, I think they have a lot of like stuff from like Gov, because Gov is the current rider. Gov is based off of candy and snacks.
Oh.
So it's actually a really good show, despite its motif and premise. It's actually really good.
I've been seeing.
Say what?
Little Karibo has been I've been seeing Little Karibo's been praising Kamen Rider since he started watching it like a year ago. Like every other tweet from Little Karibo is like Kamen Rider's great.
Yeah, there's a few shows that are not that good. Gotchard, and I'm still waiting an apology for Ghost. And so this is Gov. So this is the base form. So this is Popping Gummy. And and that little Henshin driver is actually his stomach. Like even as a in his human form, that is still his stomach. And whenever he eats like candy and treats and stuff like that, it turns into these cute little things. They almost look like candy boxes, but they're called gochizos. And the gochizos give him different powers. So that one's marshmallow. That one is potato chips.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And then this is actually one of his, I think that's his mid-upgrade form. And that's based off of a cake.
What happened if we load him up with American snack foods? Because our stuff is wild.
I would love to see him get like Twizzlers and he just gets like whips.
Right.
And then,
because I didn't even consider food in Europe.
Well, because like I'm slowly trying to catch up with Gov. I got to Valen, the secondary writer, showed up, and Valen is based off chocolate.
Oh.
Now when Gov eats the chocolate gochizo, he turns into Kamen Rider Chakodon. And it's really cool. It's really cool because Chakodon is based off of a cowboy, and his gun is a chocolate bar that he actually takes a bite out of.
Interesting.
It's really cool, and I love it. And then there's the third rider. He is based off of pudding.
Pudding.
Yeah, he's based off of a pudding cup. And this is him, or this is what he kind of looks like. So this is Vram, or Vram.
Huh. That reminds me, I saw
he's kind of
cowboys.
like.
I saw a clip.
Say what?
The movie. Speaking of cowboys, because I live out here in Arizona in the Wild West, I saw a clip of a movie I need to throw on, but I immediately, it was just background noise until they started talking. Like some sheriff dudes were approaching some guy in the middle of nowhere. You live here? Yep, this is my land. What's your name? McCarthy. What's your first name? Henry. I immediately whipped my head around. I'm like, what did he just say? I'm like, is that Billy the Kid?
Now, funny enough is that like there are like cowboy themed Kamen Riders and Sentai members. What is it like in Ninja? The 6th Ranger is based off of an American cowboy, and his morpher is a hamburger.
They couldn't give him a 6-shooter.
Oh no, it gets funnier. So like his katana is a guitar, and his Zord is it's called Bulmaru, and what it is that it is a robot cowboy ninja riding on an ATV bull.
Right, it's so metal.
It's the most American fucking thing you can think of, and I love it. Then you have in Kamen Rider Ghost, You have the Billy the Kid icon that turns Kamen Rider Ghost into Kamen Rider Ghost Billy the Kid.
That's awesome.
Oh, and this is another thing of Gob. So in every rider, they have a vehicle. So this one is no different. This is Kamen Rider Gob's vehicle / weapon. That is a Gochizo right there. That little box thing is a Gochizo. Say what?
Is there any chance that the Billy the Kid one's actual, like, his name is Billy, or his name is Henry?
So in Kamen Rider Ghost, the icons have the spirits of historical figures, and when they're summoned, they're like hoodies. They're like ghost hoodies that the Kamen Rider can put on, and he turns into Billy the Kid.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah. And with Gov, so this is actually based off of lollipops, and it turns into this fucking thing.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah, welcome to Tokusatsu. Shit don't make sense. Just nod and accept it, and your brain will hurt less. But yeah,
it's beautiful.
But yeah, so like they have other things too. So they have things like if you don't want model kits, they have other things as well. They have tools as well. So HLJ has a wide variety of tools that you can use too. So if we go to Gundam, we have a variety of. So this is their Gundam section, and we have all the different grades here. So we have real grade, master grade, perfect grade, entry grade, which is obviously for people who just want to get into Gunpla. Then we have other Gunpla goods, but if we scroll down, we have things like markers. And then we have nippers. So we have nippers, files, masking tape. Like, this is like the whole shebang. So if we go here... So if we go here... So if we go here real quick. So we're just going to kind of run down these. So here we have all the nippers that you want. So you can have like some of the cheaper ones. But they do, I believe they sell things like the God Hand nippers.
Oh.
Which the God Hand nipper... Say what?
Who are looking. They are fragile for those who are looking at the God Hand. They work, but they're fragile.
Yeah, and they're like $60.
Yeah, so be gentle with them.
Yeah, so if you don't want that, you do have alternatives here. And you also have a stand for your nippers. Which is really nice.
Be like me and have a whole, I use razor blades.
Oh, good lord.
Well, because I work at a construction company, we just have like food for these things. We have hundreds of them, so I just always have super sharp razor blades on hand.
True. And I mean, like, and that's fair. And then over here we have like sanding paper. So you can like file down stuff, which is what I'll sometimes do with my Zoids and Gundams. What I've been kind of doing lately with my Gunpla is that I like to kind of sharpen them, like take their beam sabers and just kind of sharpen them.
Oh.
It gives them it doesn't make them look more like a toy. It actually looks like an actual blade.
Yeah.
I did that with my Crossbone Gundam, and it looks so much better. I also did that with my Goof, and it looks a lot better.
Is that how we're gonna pronounce it now? Because apparently that's. I mean, I only dabble in the Gundam fandom to watch the animes and get them mildly concerned when next time I butcher
it's pronounced Goof, and I will fight a motherfucker who says otherwise.
I only have to deeply interact with the Gundam fandom every time I top up a really expensive Gundam to make a custom Zoid, and then I post it in their groups. Half of them are like, "This is really cool," and the other half were like, "How much did you pay for that Gundam?"
Yeah,
I've noticed that none of them can agree on how to say goof, whatever.
It's Goof. In the anime they say Goof. It's the people in the Kamen Rider fandom who want to sit there and say like Tajadol instead of Tajador, which if you say if you say Tajadol in my presence, I will actually smack you with a shoe. because the form is three birds. It is Takator and Condor. Or, I'm sorry, it's Taka Kujaku Condor, or Hawk Peacock Condor, and the motif is a phoenix.
Interesting.
But for some reason, people, and I think even some of the toys, put it down as Taja Dole. So it's like, what the fuck is a condole? It's Condor. You guys are fucking stupid. Stop being stupid.
I gotta remember a lot of these are built with toys. Like, I'm pretty sure Sea Panther is just a direct screw up of somebody trying to write Sea Panzer, because that makes way more sense.
It might be, because again, this is Zoids, because Zoids likes to just finger fuck the German language for reasons.
You know, I think I just screwed it up, and now we have Sea Panther. When I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure you meant like a tank, because it's Kermit crap.
Yeah, see, Panzer.
But then there's also people just, I feel like, getting a little too drunk or playing with the nose candy, because we also had the War Dick, which is named after Moby Dick, but it's not a whale. It's a bony fish, and then it got renamed in localization to War Shark, which is also not a shark.
Yeah, which is funny because in Zoids there's only one real shark species.
Yeah,
it's the hammerhead. You think with Zoids, in fact, actually, hang on, let me see here real quick. Because also, fun fact is that HLJ did also sell the Zoids Encyclopedia. This is actually where I got this from. Yeah. So if I scroll through here, because I think there was a concept Zoid that was a shark. There was one. Yep, I'm looking at it. Yep, it was a shark. It would break, so it would have armor pieces that it would break off, and I think that became the hammerhead.
Interesting.
Yeah, because do you actually have the Zoids Encyclopedia?
No, but I'm pretty sure it's up on the Iron Bible.
Yeah, this thing's like, take a look at some of the concept Zoids. They are fucking wacky.
Yeah. Catfish kind of made a shark Zoid back when she was doing Wonder Festival kits. She called it Hydro Shark. It definitely has Genosaur elements to it. And then when she started working for 52 Toys, she remade Hydro Shark, but now it's like more 52 Toy style, and it transforms into something else.
Yeah, so like,
I had the original Hydro Shark, and I consider it a Zoid.
So like in here, we have things like, so originally there was going to be a Starfish Zoid. We have we have Pingu Train.
That one was like a transport thing.
So we also have like Pingu Train. We have an octopus, a jellyfish. The weirdest one out of the lot was a Carrier Zoid based off of the Mola Mola, a sunfish.
Yeah, we had a bunch of weird Carrier Zoids that only either showed up in the concept art or a couple of them showed up in the battle card game.
Yeah, like there's a literal Pelican Zoid that acts like the Pelican from Halo.
I like the Pingu Train one. The something about a big giant robot penguin just huddling around.
It is kind of adorable.
Amazing.
Now, they also showed the concept art for Rainbow Jerk, and honestly, I kind of like the concept art of Rainbow Jerk a lot better than what we got in the actual anime.
I mean, the Rainbow Jerk just seems to have gotten done dirty. It is very pretty in the anime. The model kit is garbage.
It is. And then we have, like, a Trilobite, and then there was also going to be a Carrier Stingray, a Leafy Sea Dragon. Yeah, and there was also going to be a Leafy Sea Dragon. The weirdest one for an airborne, and again, I want to put them in consideration. An airborne Carrier Zoid was going to be a fucking seahorse.
Oh yeah, that thing it was like something balloon.
I don't know, but that is fucking weird.
It's called balloon something or other. The art is really good.
The art is really good, but it's just like I would love to see it be like a Helix soldier just on the battlefield, and you just see a fucking seahorse flying through the sky.
Like,
oh, and
what's
then
the situation now, Victor? Like, Sarge, I gotta be honest with you. I think I'm tripping balls.
I'm seeing a giant seahorse. Also, hi Jay, how you doing?
I'm sorry, I left as soon as I joined. I had to go eat dinner.
No, you're fine. No, we're talking about weird Zoids, and we're also talking about HLJ and like all the different stuff you can get from there.
Yeah, I know. I've been sitting here for a good, I want to say 10 minutes letting you guys talk.
Oh no, you're good. But yeah, no, like just I would love to be just like a guy on the battlefield, just looking up in the sky, and there's just a giant fucking seahorse, and it opens up, and lo and behold, an Iron Kong just pops out of its stomach. It's like, sir, I need to go home. I have seen way too much shit. I need to like think about my life.
You know,
You got
you know, this reminds me of.
I don't know.
What?
You ever watched Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where the scene where the guards got turned into animals,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's like
and he's must like one of the like one that got turned into a cow. He says, "Hey, can I go home? I got turned into a cow."
You're excused.
it's like
Anyone else got any issues?
it's like
Oh, no,
it's
we're
like
all good.
it's like, Sergeant, can I go home? I just saw a giant seahorse flying through the sky.
I feel
How
like
do you
there's
even
gonna be
like just wrap your brain around a giant flying mechanical seahorse?
I think we need to like splice in that scene with Griff. I think it was in like season 3 or 4 of Red versus Blue. It's like Sarge sent Griff out to go spy on the Blues, I think, and he came back like immediately because they were just talking to the bomb. You're back already? That was fast. What'd you see? To be honest, Sarge, I don't know what I just saw. Can I quit the army now?
Yeah,
No.
that's kind of like the
Tell me what it's
the
in my
Healing
gun.
Republic
I've
if they
seen
saw
enough.
this thing. It's like, do you mind telling me what you saw in your reconnaissance? It's like, well, Sarge, I saw a couple of red horns and a giant seahorse flying through the sky, bristling with guns. Can I go home and rethink about what I've been doing with my life? I
To
do
be
like.
fair, I think. To be fair, I think any rational person, be like, yeah, I don't know. Granted, though, these are also Zoids,
Yeah.
so you gotta also think about it. Like, they're probably coming up with a new one every other couple of years.
Raid
Oh no, we got ourselves a raid. Hang on. Hello everybody.
Oh,
Hello.
no.
Hi Luceron. How you doing today? Welcome in everyone. I am Grarl. I'm a T-Rex VTuber and we're talking about my newest sponsor today, which is HobbyLink Japan. Let me give you a shout out, Luceron. How was your stream today? We're talking about like, now we're just honestly talking about like obscured, like really bizarre Zoids. Because
Oh, actually, you know,
because
I think
the
you are from the Iron Bible. Probably bring it up for the audience.
yeah, hang on real quick. Yeah, because basically the concept art for Zoids got really, really weird with a lot of like, they really wanted to do a whole, like looking at the concept art, they really wanted to do a lot of carrier Zoids.
I take exception to that. Zoids was always weird.
Yes, but we're talking about like a carrier stingray, a leafy sea dragon, a fucking seahorse, a pelican.
To be fair,
a
there's the.
a fucking mola.
I mean, to be fair, there's already a Sky King, which is a flying whale, so we can't really rule out anything.
Right, but we're also talking about like,
Anyway.
but we're also talking about a carrier Zoid that's also like a jellyfish, an octopus, a sunfish, a pelican, a starfish,
Oh, you might
a
love
penguin,
A
I don't know.
snail.
a snail.
I don't know if it's like in Encyclopedia, but so there's a base, like a fortress thing. I think it might have only showed up in the card game, but it's a giant base shaped like a cactus. It's even painted green. It's amazing. I think it's a Republic base.
What the fuck?
I didn't even know there was a Zoids card game.
Yeah, there is a lot of we got a lot of nice character art from that
Also,
card
this-
game, and it's currently being translated.
Also, this reminds me, I need to get some runner carriers. So these are also like little runner trays that you can put.
Oh yeah, actually, Alia got me one of those for Christmas.
Yeah,
It's handy.
Yeah, like HobbyLink Japan's got a lot of really good stuff. And then here's like I think these are like drills or knives. Actually, no, these are both. You can get like little drills, little hobby drills and
What in the
knives.
movie did you just say? This drill knife, not both. A drill knife.
It's like, yeah, it's both. You know, they all look alike to me.
All of a drill knife.
Oh wait, no, here we go. Here's the knives. And then like these are little hobby desks. Which, see, I wasn't making this shit up because, like, I have, like, a little asset that's kind of like this. So, yeah, I'm not making shit up.
Yeah.
But, see, I really want something like this, though.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, that's really, really freaking nice. And it's collapsible, too. Oh.
Ooh.
Now there are some stuff like, obviously, like, there are things like the collapsible Zoid bins that aren't on HLJ, but you can find other places.
Not gonna lie, I think I grew up with too many alcoholics that popped up on the screen. And I thought it was a wine cooler.
That I hate that, but no, like, I can see that.
I can see it.
I can see it too. And then like with Gundam, obviously we got a large selection of Gunpla. Which, if we go here, they're all on back order, but like you'll most likely get like a restock every so often, which they're very good at. And then like now they're kind of like doing like a whole magazine. I've noticed like with a few of my deliveries. In fact,
I got
actually,
an SC-0 Endless Walls. Oh, look at him.
wait, hang on, let me see here real quick. And then they'll also do like little fun events like this one right here.
Oh, right. There's a Zero Panzer. I haven't made a video on that, but we're getting restocks of the Kotobukiya, HMM, Panzer, Jaeger, and Schneider in fall or
Yeah.
late summer.
You could also just get the armor sets too. You don't have to buy the
Yeah,
full-on.
just
Yeah.
the Liger Zero or the armor set. They're selling both first.
Yeah, I'm wanting to get just like a base Liger Zero so that I can turn into the Liger Zero Blue Soga.
Oh,
And then this one's kind of cool. So they also do have Transformers as well. Now this is the new one of the new masterpieces that are coming out.
Oh, that looks so nice.
So this is a masterpiece Optimus Prime. Now the cool thing about this one is that this is obviously a very stylized take on Prime. Now the cool thing about it, right now the cool thing is that it also comes with like stuff from like previous Prime. So it obviously has like Movieverse Prime's blades that you can fold out. And then it also has the Siege / like Netflix trilogy Optimus Prime's axe that can also be used as a shield.
cool.
Yeah, and let me see here because they have that along with Rat Trap, Masterpiece Rat Trap.
I hope Peter does something for Zoids again someday. The last thing I think the only thing he ever did with Zoids was he did the Toonami promos.
Oh, Peter Cullen.
Yeah,
That'd be
Peter,
nice.
I'd love for you to do anything for Zoids again. I don't care what it is.
And then that is the Masterpiece Rat Trap, which I really wanted to get. Also, I like this little detail. Like that little detail right there. That's like a kill count.
It's rifles mark. Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's like little spider marks for like tarantulas. Yeah, I like that. That's like how many times I think he's
How
actually
many times he's killed tarantulas?
or like has beaten him. That's really
Does it really
interesting.
count when like the beast transformers keep coming back from the dead? Like, how do you mark your kills?
Waspinator's like that.
Waspinator
No.
is just a gag character that his main purpose is to just be blown up to smithereens every episode.
Pretty much.
It's
Now,
funny.
the funny
Yeah.
thing, the funny thing about Beast Wars is that when it came to Beast Wars in Japan, they had a vastly different take on Beast Wars.
Yeah.
So they wanted to turn Beast Wars, for some reason, they wanted to turn Beast Wars into a full-blown comedy. Like,
Interesting.
so a lot of them, if not all of them, had like this weird tick at the end of their sentence that would be like the equivalent of like a grunt or a roar.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I just caught up to One Piece again. It's a kind of a running theme there too. A lot of characters who they'll say something at the end of their sentence. You know?
Yeah,
Something
something like
goofy.
that. And then Rat Trap was known for breaking the fourth wall in each episode by, trying to smell what the kids have been eating because he's a rat.
I don't know if
That's a weird fourth wall break.
That is.
It is. It's a fourth wall. It's a fourth wall gag. Beast Wars didn't do too hot. They tried with an anime, 2 animes and a movie. It didn't do well, and it kind of died off during Beast Machines. Now, the thing is that Beast Wars came back in Japan, I think, relatively recently through Beast Machines came back in Japan through entirely by fan demand.
Oh yeah.
To finish it, yeah, because Beast Machines did not do so well.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But yeah, so that pretty much kind of like ends the whole like segment I had for Hobby Link Japan. You have, honestly, it's a fucking dream to have them as a sponsor.
Oh, that's so, yeah, I'm totally not jelly.
Well, so the thing is that I legit thought that my application got ignored. Because I think I submitted it like way early in last year. And I did it because I was just like, I might as well shoot my shot, because it's like, what's the worst that they can say no?
Yeah.
And I just saw that today that, hey, they were like, hey, welcome to the affiliation program.
That's rad.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I nearly shit my pants when I saw that. I'm not kidding, like, this is like Hobby Link Japan. They are the #1 import store for a reason. And the fact that
the top ones that get brought up by Zoids at all.
Yeah, like now normally I will also go to places like Ami Ami, because sometimes some Zoids will appear on Ami Ami and they won't appear on like HLJ. Like on Ami Ami, they will have things like the now they do have the collapsible Zoid storage boxes, but HLJ yeah, but HLJ doesn't have those. The Garantula was also kind of that too, where the Garantula is nowhere to be seen on HLJ, but like the only other place I have seen that sold the Garantula are places like Gundam Store, Gundam USA Store, I think Entertainment Earth, and Big Bad Toy Store were the only places that I saw that actually sold Garantulas. But HLJ never did.
I need to get one of those. I do have the old one. I want the new one.
Now, the funny thing is, like, some people have been making little fan modes out of the Garantula, and they turn them into the old Whitehead Zoid. I think it's called the Spiker.
Oh, the Mantis one.
Yeah, the Mantis. They've turned it into the Spiker with a little bit of finagling.
Neat.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, this is actually like, ever since I started like VTubing, this has been like a dream.
Yeah.
It has been an absolute dream to be sponsored by HLJ. And I will gladly wear it with a badge of honor.
As you should.
Yeah.
Badge of honor.
It is. To me, it's a huge badge of honor. I'm not gonna lie, I nearly cried.
Oh, speaking of Garantula, a few people on Facebook were chatting about it, and a couple of them were upset to realize it uses the same exact head as the Godos.
No shit.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, first of all, it was the 80s. Yeah, they are reusing parts, and also it's the military. Of course, they're reusing parts.
Yeah, because I can tell you, as someone who's in the military who works on machines, yeah, a lot of military machines do use the same components. It's not a hidden secret.
Yeah, it's just expected, and plus, you could have just asked, and I would have told you all the times they reuse the cockpits for Zoids. I could make a whole video on it if you wanted.
Yeah, like just to make them shut up. But what I was saying though was that the clear Bio Megaraptor that I saw was on Mandarake.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I saw it once, and then someone snatched it right when I was about to buy it. In fact, actually, if I go on here to like eBay, Biomega Raptor, which I think is funny because it's not even a raptor. It's a Mega Raptor.
Yeah, because the Bioraptor is tiny.
Yeah, well, no, because like Megaraptors are an actual species of dinosaur, and they're freaky little bastards.
Yeah, but it's also like very literal. Like the Bioraptor kit is very tiny, and the Biomegaraptor kit is like an actual decent sized model.
Oh, I know, but what I'm saying though is that like the Biomegaraptor is based off of a Zoid or based off of a dinosaur that's not even close to a raptor.
Yeah.
But then again, also Zoids has a habit of like basing or taking some bit of liberty with some dinosaurs, like Death Razor, for example. It's a Therizinosaur, and if you look at it, you would say it's probably an Allosaur.
Yeah, I love you dinosaur. By the way, my girlfriend Allie just showed up, so keep either flirt less or flirt more, depending on her flirt more. Okay, she says flirt more. Excellent.
Wait, what?
I was saying Allie came home, so maybe we should flirt less. She's like, no, do it more. All right, fine.
Now you're fine. Also, one thing I wanted to bring up. So, Doc, you might be interested in this subject. So, I'm sure you probably know about this because you are also like very big into the paleontology stuff. I want to bring this up, and I will play a video of it.
If you're gonna talk about the direwolf, I'm already gonna tell you that it's not a direwolf.
I know that. I wanted to discuss it with you. I know it's not. I know it's not a direwolf. I know damn well it's not a direwolf.
Okay, because I have been discussing this with so many paleontologists, ecologists, and biologists. So I'm kind of like, I have like a good understanding about this entire conversation.
Yeah. So Phobos, I don't know if you have heard about this.
Oh, I have. Actually, one of the closer people I hang out with in the Zoids Discord is he a paleontologist or was he a paleontologist? Yeah, yeah. Immediately someone posted a link and immediately like, that's not a direwolf. Like, well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
And immediately, within like 3 seconds, he was like, that's not really a direwolf.
No.
I've been dubbing it a
I don't know
specific type of
nothing.
species, but we could discuss that after.
Yeah, so hang on, let me pull up the video real quick.
Yep.
So
We'll
we're
get
gonna
into a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch this video on Global News.
Okay.
And
Pixel, stop sniffing my chin.
the direwolves are back.
Don't kink shame her.
I will. My cat's over here sniffing my boots. I just got home from work.
Don't kink shame her.
It's foul.
Like 30 days and sweaty boots. It's your daughter. You did this.
There we go. Okay. So we're gonna watch this video here. It's called "Is the direwolf back from extinction? Experts dispute rebirth of an ancient species." It's not long. It's about 3 minutes. So we will. Let me pause the music here. In fact, actually, let me pull this up on my Discord real quick so that way you guys can watch it.
Oh, glorious. Also, just to verify, a little thing Discord's been having an issue with is that if you don't like have a specific thing to stream, it will like have background noise.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh no.
Like, oh no.
I just got
silence.
I just got an email from Big Bad Toy Stores.
Uh-oh, what do they say?
Oh, yeah?
It's about the tariff thing.
Oh,
right.
yeah. I don't know too much about the tariff stuff, so I can't really like discuss it. I know it's going to suck for collectors.
Yeah,
we're
it's gonna be bad for people buying things from Japan. Yeah,
and we're gonna have to be very, very choosy and tighten our belts. But like I said, I don't know too much about all the tariff stuff, so.
It's basically they charge on everything that comes into the country.
Yeah, and that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
gotta do some real savvy shopping.
Yeah. So.
Well, luckily, was it Tomy that's making a branch in the United States, aren't they not?
They are.
Yes.
So
Tomy just announced Tomy Plus, so they are going to be selling stuff on their own.
Yeah. So let's watch this real quick. So I want to know what you guys think about it. So 3, 2, 1, go. Now,
So-
now, I will say they are adorable. I'm not gonna deny
Yeah,
they are adorable,
They're very adorable.
and they sound super cute.
De-extinction to us is recreating these phenotypes. So a gray wolf is the closest living relative of a dire wolf. They're genetically really similar, 99.5% similar. And phenotypically, their morphology is also similar, only dire wolves are larger, more muscular, and have these light colored coats and other things that we can see from the fossils. And so we
Now, Jay, is that true?
No, that is 100% false. If anything, dire wolves are more closely related to maned wolves and wild dogs and jackals.
Yeah.
They are not genetic. They're not genetic like relatives of what was the name of gray wolves.
Right.
Actually, they changed that name a while back because to reflect that. Because before it was called Canis dirus, but then they found out that it might have actually more common related DNA and has more traits associated with jackals, wild dogs, and maned wolves. So their name was changed.
Maned wolves are the ones with the long dancer's legs, right?
Yeah,
They have the roar that sound like a
Yeah,
dog.
they're the
Yeah.
lanky dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the horse dogs we
Oh.
referred to them.
Yeah. Hang on, real quick. Let me add you guys in here for the stream together, real quick.
All right, I'll join.
Let's see here.
But
But yeah, so so basically direwolves and wolves kind of separated about 5 million years ago, I think.
it was 5 million years ago,
Yeah.
and that they were part of the big canine expansion.
Right.
They're okay. So picture this. This is the time when mammals were starting to just pick and choose niches and being like, I want to be that. No, I want to be that. I want to be that, be that. That's why mammals are so branched right now, because they're everywhere. It's because mammals decided, you know what? Let's just do everything.
Basically,
And
yeah.
dogs, and this is the reason why canines are so successful in every environment known to man. It is due to the fact of how fast they adapt. And
Right.
so with dire wolves, gray wolves, majority of like bone crushing dogs, they start branching out into different niches. The thing is, dire wolves had the same kind of stylized niche as gray wolves, so they are similar in that regard. Like they're built the same way. Like they have the same bone structure, the same muscular structure, the same
Yeah. It's
like skeleton. Yeah.
Isn't it like convergent evolution, basically?
It is convergent evolution, or more of another term, it's the similarities among species. For example, why primates, we have features that are similar to primates, such as the canines located more towards the front of our mouth.
Like the symmetrical star-like body, basically, as well.
Yeah. We have the opposable thumbs. That's one of the biggest things that makes us primates. And that's kind of a common thing with animals that share ancestry lineage, is that they share features. The same reason why tigers, lions, and other felines still have the same body structure, just different ways to use them.
Right, and why they all have and if you look at cats, they all have saber teeth as well. Not as pronounced as say the Smilodons or the scimitar cat, but they all carry that same ancestral trait.
Yep. So
cat, this one has opinions.
That is adorable.
So it's very strange. This is also the reason why cats and dogs look similar too, because they do come from a common ancestor as well with raccoons.
Yep. Raccoons, ferrets, civets, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's because after a while, animals start branching out and they want to fill specific type of roles. The same reason why you probably will notice that your dog will look different from another dog. Because after a while, species like breeds start developing in the animal kingdom, and then they start branching into specific roles.
Right.
But we'll discuss about the whole dog wolf thing a little bit more after we watch the video about this, because this comes down to a name of phenology.
Right.
I've been referring to these dire wolves, the
This is basically what Game of Thrones think a dire wolf is.
Yes,
which are
no.
just they're basically trying to paint like just a big giant wolf.
See, that was another misconception.
Which
dire
they're not,
wolves were
but-
actually not much big. Yeah, they were about an inch bigger than a normal wolf.
Right, and
No,
their
it's
body
not.
structure is like vastly different too.
Not really. They're about the same.
No, I mean like they had like a different type of head, I think, didn't they?
And that's why we got them confused real easily with being the same like family,
Yeah.
because they do have a similar head structure. That's the reason why.
And what were we saying,
To be
Phobos?
fair, a slightly bigger wolf. Wolves are terrifyingly big on their own.
Yeah, but they're about the same size of a normal like mastiff. They're not that.
Mastiff.
I could ride a wolf into battle.
Wolves are not that big, actually.
I'm not very.
Timber wolves, maybe, but
I was gonna say
that's
like
a very.
I think Phobos is saying like he's short.
Yeah.
Okay, understandable.
say.
I've sized up wolves before. They're not that big. Most of the time, they don't attack anything they know they're not gonna fight.
Yeah, they're
So-
what you call opportunists.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
But I
opportunists.
bounced. Allie came home, so I'm gonna hang out with her,
Okay.
and you guys have fun. And I'll bug you later.
Thank you for stopping by, though.
Yeah, of course, and congratulations again.
Thank
Super
you.
jelly.
Thank you.
Use your codes or whatever.
It's more of like a link.
Yeah, either way, I'll use your promos.
Hell yeah.
See ya.
All right, see ya. Great guy.
Hey, he's nice to hang out with.
Yeah, he's nice to hang out with. All right, let's continue with this.
We
'Cause I'm
targeted
really curious about this.
DNA sequence variants that we
And
believe
also,
lead-
one real thing is that basically all of this info that they're talking about, they are pulling it straight out of their ass.
Oh no, the stuff that they're talking about is actually sound science. We already do it with like many plants and animals.
Well, saying
Today.
like things like, the gray wolf is their next of kin.
Yeah, that part is pulling out of their ass because it's research that's already been outdated with
Right.
current stuff. So.
If anything, they wanted to use like a main wolf. That would have been
Well, not really, because they're
Slightly
not that
closer?
close either. They're slightly closer, yes. But
Yeah,
the
our-
lineage of dire wolf died off about 10,000 years ago, so
yeah,
you will not find a good genetic cousin of them.
right, because they're just so different from other wolves or other canids.
Yep.
lead to
That's-
those traits, and then we edited gray wolf cells to
So
contain those
right
dire
there.
wolf DNA variants.
They're not
and
dire
then
wolves;
cloned
they're
those
just gray
cells and
wolves.
Created our dire wolves.
Sort of looked at what we do with gray wolves.
It's like
and
saying-
beefed up the
Sorry, it's like saying like, oh yeah, we made a fucking Smilodon because we altered the Florida Panther genome. So yeah, that's how we managed to get our Smilodon. It's like, no, it's not a Smilodon. It's just an abomination, basically.
The bad thing about it, the Smilodon can't even be used as a viable, like any Pantheria cat today cannot be used because they are, yet again, a different lineage of the feline.
Right.
species.
But what I'm saying though is that they're just saying like, kind of just mocking what they're saying. Like, yeah, we kind of just altered their genes to make it look like, and that's the key word, is that it looks like. It's not the actual thing. You could sit there and say like, oh yeah, I slapped like, what is it, like a giant sail on it back to like maybe a monitor lizard and call it a Dimetrodon. It's not a Dimetrodon. It just looks like it.
Well, yeah, that's the same concept here. Is that they're basically what they're doing is more genetic modification to make the animal look like the pop media of the dire wolf.
Yeah,
But
like Game of Thrones is kind of what they're going with.
Yep.
Yeah.
instead of actually what the animal looks like, which
And-
there has been millions of renditions of the animal, what its current updated information of the dire wolf would look like.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hold something about this until after the video because I got something to say about this shit.
caloric.
That
Yeah,
kind
sure.
of that kind of
of the
boils my. Oh
formula,
my god,
and
they're
we began
adorable.
Putting them onto a puppy.
Oh, they're
milk
very
replacer
adorable.
Formula.
They're so
And then
cute.
Quickly, by 8 weeks, they were weaning and being fed whole solid foods. So they're getting everything from ground meats like beef and deer and horse meats all the way to now they're actually experiencing whole prey. So they get to sort of chew on meat
but
and
like
bones and all of that. And then, as they develop, they start showing you hunting instincts and stalking instincts. What they'll probably never learn is, right, what is the finishing move of how you kill a giant elk or a big deer, something like that.
Well, that's because we don't know what a direwolf acts like. Because guess what? They need a direwolf to act like, to train them on how to direwolf. Otherwise, you just have a wolf or have a dog.
To be fair, many canines share the same hunting tactics, which was this mostly mob mentality, where they constantly bit at their prey's leg, wear them down to the point where they can't, properly fight anymore, and then they just go for the throat. That's a normal common prey thing for a lot of canines.
But I mean, for all we know, they could have like a different strategy.
True.
That's what I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because they could have like the same ish kind of strategy, but like I think like what every canine has have a different way of tackling the same subject.
It really depends on the canid. Most animals like dire wolves and wolves themselves, and since like I said earlier, they are more similarities with jackals and wild dogs. Their tactic is the same, which is the mob mentality, where they go after a single target, it being weak or young, and just constantly attack it, weaken it to the point where they can actually do a finishing blow.
Right, and then you got the wild dogs that just like to eviscerate things while they are still alive.
Oh yeah, they'll eat it alive. And that's normally a common thing for most predators too, if they have a chance.
Yeah. So
those are sort of those finely tuned social learning opportunities that these guys won't have.
So, yes, they have slightly genetically modified wolves, maybe. And that's probably the best that you're going to get. And those slight modifications seem to have been derived from retrieved direwolf material.
Hey, Dragon, how you doing?
Does that make it a direwolf? No. Does it make a slightly modified gray wolf? Yes. And that's probably about it. Where do you put them? I mean, this is one thing that seems to be completely lost on the de-extinction people, is that let's say that even you manage to bring back a sufficient number of mammoths or dire wolves to create a viable population.
Which is true. Like, he does have a good point.
Thousands of completely genetically diverse individuals in a population for have it any chance of surviving into the future. The whole Adam and Eve concept of you create two and they can just go on and do their own thing. Now that's called inbreeding depression. And then
True.
Things die very quickly. Most introductions of most species fail, over 99%. Why? Because there's a few individuals that inbreed themselves out of existence. And this is the same with respect to humans. It happens in humans, it happens in mice, it happens in...
Like the Habsburg is a good example of inbreeding to death with humans.
Mm-hmm.
Also, good despite doors from being a few doors down from being. Oh my God! What the fuck happened? Few doors down from being a crime scene since last night. Jesus fucking Christ! Well, hope you're all right. Also, I just want to sit here and say, do you know what they named the quote unquote dire wolves?
Are you asking me or are you asking your chat?
No, asking you.
Yes, they named them after the Greek mythology of Romulus and Remus.
Yeah, the two founders of Rome.
Yep.
A shooting and suspect on the... Oh, sweet. Yeah, no, stay safe.
They are named after the two boys that are raised by a wolf.
Yep. Which is also kind of a fitting name. But that's hang on. I will save my piece until this is done because I have questions.
Especially in something as controversial as this, that is a massive red flag. It suggests that, well, at best, they've over-exaggerated. At worst, they're lying through their teeth.
Okay, so he mentioned something about incest depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing in terms of breeding. So, Romulus and Remus, I believe they're both males, right?
Yep.
So, how are they going to keep the lineage alive? I don't
They're
know.
making there's a third one too,
There's a
and
third
it's
one.
named after this is a very stupid name for it. They named it after the mother of dragons from Game of Thrones, Khaleesi's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because like if they were gonna introduce these things back into the wild, how they breed and keep the genetic pool quote unquote pure? Because it's, I don't know if you want to even consider these things pure. Because if they were to breed with other wolves, guess what? You lost that genetic purity. Now it's no longer a quote unquote dire wolf. Now it's like a mutt of a dire wolf and a gray wolf, so to speak. Now, Jay, you know what kind of pisses me off about this right here?
Yeah. What's up?
So, they're talking about de-extinction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they blew a lot of money on this.
Oh, they did. Majority of it was done in conducting the research of getting the fossil materials of the gray, not the gray wolf,
The dire wolf.
The dire wolf, and then also spending most of the time gene mapping the entire genetic genome of the dire wolf.
Now, here's my thing, and this is something that they should have done if they really wanted to do like de-extinction stuff, and instead of making these little, granted they're adorable, but like these little freaks of nature, they could have.
Well, they're not really freaks of natures, but it's like the same concept you get from like selective breeding from dogs.
True, but what I would like to see them do is that I would have liked to see them focus more on animals that are already almost out the door.
Yeah, they should have focused on like genetic animals that we already have, like
The kakapo is one of them.
And there's like a ton of animals that are in the endangered species list right now. They could have focused on, and we do have the entire genetic code for them.
Yeah, like
so that's something.
I was gonna say things like the kakapo is one of them. The black-footed ferret. We could easily de-extinct the northern white rhino that's already dead.
Yep. We could also
the Yangtze
help
River
the black
dolphin.
rhino.
Yeah, black rhino, Yangtze River dolphin.
Yeah, there's like tons of animals they could have more focused on instead of an animal that has been long extinct for 10,000 years, and that was not due to human intervention, but the change in climates.
Right.
The animal died. The animal didn't die from being overhunted by humans. It died because it couldn't outcompete other animals that were adapting faster than it.
Right, because like at the end of the Ice Age, you already had animals like things like cats and other like other canid species like, well, wolves, who were doing their job and doing their job better because they had a better adaptation rate. But also you had things like, say, like, well, no, not the terror birds, because terror birds came before the Ice Age, if I remember correctly.
They were during the Ice Age, but they were not. They were not like very. They were outcompeted by
the cats.
By cats. That's the main reason why they died off, is because they couldn't compete
with the cats.
a large feline the size of a dirt bike.
Yeah,
well, not dirt bike ones.
Just like a polar bear, like basically like a polar bear sized cat who could do your job and do your job better, and then also eat you to show you how to do your job. But like, honestly, if they really wanted to de-extinct a extinct animal like this, you know who'd actually be a good template? And this is gonna sound stereotypical, but like a mammoth.
See, that's another one that's kind of a weird bring back, because due to the fact mammoths have been long extinct, we suppose 10,000 years.
Right.
That's like, because that was also the fall of a lot of megafauna throughout most of North America, Europe, and some parts of Asia, and well, let's just say Eurasia.
Right.
The Euro-Russia area. They were already out the door, except for mammoths. Mammoths seem to be the only large megafauna that was like, nope, I don't care. I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Yeah,
because they were surviving so long not because of the food supply. No, their food supply was plentiful due to the fact that they had access to the one food that no other animal could get access to.
Wasn't it squash?
Not squash. It was a specific type of plant that grew in very cold climates.
Oh, which one would that be?
I think it was like some sort of prairie grass.
I was gonna say, because like if I remember correctly, like a lot of like things that we have today benefited from mammoths, because I think squash was one of them, or gourds was one of them.
We discovered squash and gourds due to the fact that they did uproot up some plants that we didn't have access to.
Right. And I mean, like, it would probably be a lot easier than, like, say, a dire wolf, so to speak, because we do have a lot of DNA of mammoths, and we have, unlike the dire wolf, we do have their next of kin that we could use, and it's the Indian elephant.
Yep.
And we could use it, and we could actually probably pump out a true mammoth, probably in, like, what would you say, maybe, like, 2 or 3 generations?
So if you want 100% genetic,
Like a pure mammoth.
A mammoth, you'll have to do it artificially, because there's always going to be that slight DNA of the African of the Indian elephant,
Right.
mostly because anything that's developed in a womb of that animal is always going to take aspects of that DNA into it. This is actually a very common misconception when it comes to like bringing back extinct animals. We need, no matter which way you look at it, if you do it like the way that people have been suggesting, it's never going to be 100% that animal, no matter what.
Right. But I feel like it would be a little bit easier to do than, or we'll get like, if not even a little bit closer than, say, these dire wolves.
Oh, yeah, it would be much closer. I will honestly tell you that bringing back a mammoth, the method that they use is 100% viable, since they are genetically close to Indian elephants and African elephants.
Right.
So that is a more viable case to bring back.
Right. And what were we saying?
No, you go.
No, I was gonna say, and we also have like environments that are relatively close to what they were, and that is like Siberia and maybe like Alaska.
Issue is that the planet has changed so much since they have been introduced or been around. The plant life that they normally would have eaten is no longer around.
Right. And that's another thing, is like trying to get a mammoth and then also try to get them to not have their same food, but maybe something close. And I don't think we have anything that's relatively close to that. Do we?
Actually, you do.
Oh, we do. Okay. Where are they at?
So majority of majority of the ecosystems that woolly mammoths lived in were the same ecosystems you probably see Arctic wolves in, or muskox. They live in that tundra-like environment.
Yeah, like Siberia, because Siberia is just a constant tundra.
There's also Greenland is another good example
I didn't
of a
think
place
about
where
that.
it could. Greenland's a perfect example of a place where they could thrive. The big issue is, though, these animals need to traverse a lot. Their territory was so vast that there have been records of them being seen traveling, like seeing like actual species, like similarities among other tribes in Siberia and some parts of the United States. Like there have been records of like some that may even share common like similarities, such as I think there have been a few cave paintings of a mammoth with a broken tusk in Siberia and then some in North America.
Yeah, they traveled pretty far.
Yeah,
which is incredible.
It was surprising how vast their entire territory was.
Well, and maybe like if it's not possible, then maybe I don't know, make like the Colombian mammoth, the ones that are like, packed with hair.
Oh, it's possible to have them around now. The issue is, though, why would you submit them to the rising temperatures. That's the
True.
main reason why a lot of them died off. Is because of the massive temperature changes that have been going on since the ice age started to recede.
Right.
And for clarification, we are still in the ice age.
Are we
It's
really?
just that we're just yep.
Huh,
The
I
ice
actually
age
didn't
has
know that.
never ended.
Huh.
Yeah. The reason why I say we're still in the ice age is due to the fact that we still get periodical ice caps going down to the mid of the United States, midway of the entire world. This is actually the reason why this is more like a grace period,
Okay.
because there is a chance that the ice age will be as severe as it was before
Right.
because of charts and evidence of supplying that. Because
Yeah.
this is so how climate normally works is it's based upon how our Earth develops around the sun.
Mhm.
And we're constantly changing positions a lot, and there's
Right.
a chance that our Earth will change again due to some event, either a event that will either cause a mass extinction or a gradual change.
Right. And like with the de-extinction stuff,
Yep.
what do you think, like asking you, what would you think would be the best candidate for like de-extinction?
Best candidate?
Yeah.
Any recently extinct animal in the last 200 years.
Okay, that's fair. Like what, like Tasmanian tiger?
Tasmanian tiger, passenger pigeons. There's also animals like the black or the white rhino. There's several species of frogs that went extinct.
There's also
Then there are-
the Caribbean monk seal.
Yep.
There's
There's
another
like
one.
species of seal. There's also animals, and I will say this is an animal that recently went extinct. The dodo bird is the one
Right.
that you could bring back because it is an animal that was caused due to overhunting and human intervention. And
Yeah.
that was
Go ahead.
and the animal that and the bad thing about it, the reason why the animal went extinct is due to the fact that we brought goddamn mice to the
Mice. I think it's like
and
mice and
cats.
cats. Yeah, cats.
Yeah.
I think pigs too,
And-
because pigs also would uproot their nests.
Yeah, and this
eat
is
the
the reason
eggs.
why dodo birds went extinct so fast, because there was only one population of them, and that's
Right.
why they were dead in the matter of like years, because of all of us always traveling to that one island. And this was back in the day when conservation wasn't a thing. I
Right.
think it was
and
like the
then there's-
1400s.
And I think there's things like the coelacanth, which are on the decline, but I feel like the coelacanth are in a decline because it's just them like actually going extinct naturally.
Possibility.
Because I know there's one species of coelacanth. There's two actually. There are two species of coelacanth that are alive today, but one of them, I believe it's the African species that I think even at the time of its discovery, they were on the decline, and apparently the locals didn't eat them. They
Oh no, coelacanths have a terrible meat. That's why a lot of people don't like eating them.
Yeah, they'll just throw them back. So I think I think with that species, I think it was just because it's just a natural extinction.
Yeah,
I think.
which
I mean,
usually
I think there's other reasons too, but like I think that's just part of it because they were already a very, very sparse population.
oh yeah, they're an old species that lasted for a long time. They're going to end up sooner or later dying off because they are yet
Very
again
old.
an animal that they are a very old animal, and it also brings up the same problem a lot of animals face when they have short populations, small populations,
Which
which
is
is a lot of the
yeah.
inbreeding sparsing problem that they end up having.
Right, and then you'll have things like the Habsburg, which,
Yeah.
for those who don't know what the Habsburg is, so Habsburg was a noble family from like, I want to say Germany.
Sounds like a German name, so maybe.
Habsburg, yeah, I think it is German. We're for the sake of the argument, we're gonna say Germany. So they were actually. Wait, hang on. I'm sorry. I have to look real quick. Sorry, it's just I
Gotta
have
fact check
to
yourself,
know.
people.
Yeah, I need to fact check myself before I get corrected by someone going like, actually.
Well, actually,
See here, the Habsburg Empire, also known as the Habsburg Monarchy, was a collection of empires, kingdoms, duchies, and other polities ruled by the House of Habsburg from the 13th to the 20th century. Wow, that actually lasted quite long. Okay. Encompassing. Oh yeah, no, sorry. It's just that how the war was broken up, encompassing territories such as Central and Western Europe and later parts of the world through the Spanish Habsburgs. Okay, but like, where did they come from? Origins. Actually, no, they're Swedish.
that makes sense. That
Yeah.
kind of does make sense because it's also another. It does sound like a similar Swedish name as well.
Yeah, so it says origins. The Habsburgs originate in what is now Switzerland, with their power growing significantly in the 13th century. Yeah, so anyway, basically what happened is that with the Habsburg, they kept the phrase "keep it in the family" quite literally until basically they hit a bottleneck in genetics to where they were inbreeding so badly that they had massive birth defects.
Yep, and they also were, if I remember correctly, attaining a lot of diseases that normal people do not get.
Right. In fact, actually, I think one of their most infamous family members that had what is known as the Habsburg jaw had essentially had like a club foot, a massive jutting out bottom jaw. His face looked really scrunched, and the best way to describe it, it looked like someone took someone with Down syndrome with the you know that little editing tool where you can like make the face shrink a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of what happened, because he does have like the eye alignment of someone who has Down syndrome, but like shrunken a little bit. And he does have this massive jaw. Even the women had this too. And I think they died, like they literally inbreeded each other like to extinction basically. And then the Spanish Habsburg, I think, are the only ones that managed to carry on the legacy. So basically, what we're saying, inbreeding is bad.
Hey, before we continue, when you were talking about that kind of reminded me of this from Family Guy.
Uh-oh. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That I cannot see it now. I have a feeling he talked like the two, like, hang on, chat. I gotta show you guys. Because I can't I can't unsee this. And then let me find the Habsburg jaw.
Oh God!
I wouldn't say it's like handsome Squidward, but it is a face.
It's a face only a mother will love.
Actually, wait. Let me find the Duchess of Habsburg. Because you can really see it, especially in the women, because it looks really bad.
Because it's kind of normal for a man to stick out their bottom jaw a lot.
Yeah, but when it's like on like women as well, it's like this looks really bad. Like that's the infamous Habsburg jaw.
The infamous Habsburg jaw.
And and like someone actually did oh no, never mind. So there are like historical paintings like all the way back in like the Middle Ages where they were already starting to just go into complete genetic degeneracy.
Yeah, their genetics were so bad that not at that point it just looks weird.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is probably how a lot of de-extinct animals will end up.
Oh yeah, that like if you spend too much time with the same grouping, they do tend to have that issue, and that's why a lot of animals start to pass away, because they start inbreeding and bada bing bada boom, no longer have them.
And a lot of people were bringing up things like the chicken sore.
Oh God, we do not talk about the chicken store.
I mean, I might as well just briefly touch upon it. So what a chicken soar is that it's essentially, I think it was like what, it was an experiment, I think. Let me see here. No, it was, it's an experiment where basically they would, I think they would cut open a chicken egg to observe the embryo, because apparently with chicken embryos is that in a certain point of their developmental stage, they do have saurian traits turned on.
Yep.
They have things like, I think it's 15 tail vertebrae, because an average chicken I think has like 10?
6 to 10.
6 to 10, yeah. But
Yep.
in an embryo state, it's, I think, 15 to 20? No, I think it's 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 tail. It's a noticeable tail.
Yeah.
It's a very, very noticeable tail, but they also have things like claws on their forelimbs and teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So those traits are on in the embryo. Now, their thing is that they want to somehow keep those on when the chicken hatches. And they're saying, oh, well, that's how you're going to get Jurassic Park. That's how you're going to get things like a T-Rex or a Velociraptor. It's like, no, you idiot. That's not how it works. And even if you wanted to bring back dinosaurs with a chicken sora, you're not going to get things like hadrosaurs or triceratops or brachiosaurs. You're going to get raptors. You're essentially you're mostly just going to get raptors. If you really wanted to stylize it, the closest you'll probably get something akin to maybe a basal tyrannosaur. But that's about as far as you will get.
Mostly because the species that make up birds come from this a subset of Microraptorian, which is mostly the ones you see in popular media that says about the bird dinosaurs, the one with the feathers that glide from tree to tree. So
right,
most avian dinosaurs today, which are birds, derive from a common ancestor of that evolved from Microraptorians, which is like Anthropteryx, Microraptor, all these animals.
Right. And the other thing is, like, we don't know how, because like with a mammoth, you can sit there and say it's easier because, well, it's an elephant. We kind of know how an elephant acts. They're not going to differentiate, from a mammoth to an Indian elephant or an African elephant. It's an elephant. It's going to act like an elephant. It's just going to be bigger with more hair. But things like, or like how even if we want to go back to the dire wolves, they're going to act like a wild dog, because guess what? That's what a wolf is. More or less. But things like, say, the chicken soars, we won't quite know how a non-avian dinosaur acts. They're going to act... I actually don't even know how a chicken soar would actually behave, to be honest.
Probably like a chicken.
Probably like a chicken. But unless they were somehow...
You don't teach chickens how to eat chickens. They just do it on their own.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like, well, you're gonna make basically just kind of make a monster.
Yep.
Or at the best, maybe a cockatrice.
Oh, that'd be a cool thing. Now I really rather take that in the dinosaur, because that means we're gonna be making Dungeons and Dragons soon. Like, I mean, our own little dungeons.
I mean, honestly though, that would pretty much what it would look like.
Pretty much.
Like, a cockatrice is probably the closest you will ever get to maybe a chicken soar if this were to actually go through.
Yeah.
And one more thing to circle around with the mammoths is that we can easily kind of recreate their ecosystem, because we still have animals from their time period, like condors, I believe, right? Because condors got so big because they ate the carcasses of megafauna.
Well, technically, we already have the animals that lived in the time period of mammoths because mammoths did live along normal common animals we have today. They are
Right.
The only animal I would probably still need to bring back along with the mammoth would probably be the great horned bison.
True. Just don't do what Nazi Germany did with the aurochs. Do you know that story?
Yep.
Yeah. So chat, for those who don't know, so back in World War II, Nazi scientists were trying to, for whatever reason, they wanted to bring back the aurochs. Which, if you don't know what an aurochs is the ancestor to all domesticated cattle. And they were big, beefy bulls, right? They were absolute units. Now,
They wanted to bring it back because they thought they could use it to for rations and such.
yeah, they wanted to bring it back so that way they could eat it. And I think what it was like, they tried to breed the aurochs back into existence, and what came out of it was a bull that wasn't an aurochs, but my god, was it mean.
Oh, definitely.
They didn't make an aurochs. Celestial, let's see here. Really thought they could do anything. They really did. Also, hello, Celestial. How are you doing today? Hello, first time chatter.
Celestial rain.
Celestial rain has entered the chat.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a magical spell.
It does, yeah.
I cast celestial rain.
Just sit there, be like, I cast tungsten balls. I cast celestial rain.
I cast pan.
It's like, what do you mean, bonk?
Anyways,
I cast instant Brazilian wax.
I cast testicular torsion.
Ha, it doesn't work on me because I don't have anything down there. It's all lizard down there, baby.
You do realize you have inner testicles, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Just because they're not on the outside doesn't mean they're not somewhere else.
True.
And
uh-oh.
We have a new guest.
Also,
on the
Magic,
Please,
thank you so much
enjoy
for
your stay.
Oh my god, that is a name. Magic School Bus Dropout. Thank you so much for becoming a park guest.
you must have made Miss Frizzle real mad if you got dropped out of the Magic School Bus.
Yeah. Please let this be a normal stream with the Frizz. No way. See, I wanted to be on the Magic School Bus, but apparently they were like, no, dinosaurs aren't allowed, and it's mainly because I think I ate one of the kids.
Really? You know the bad thing about it? They have to go through my guild hall once in a while when they have to do some weird parent like multiversal thing. It's weird.
Oh, they come to your guild hall every once in a while?
Oh yeah. Try explaining that to a bunch of other VTubers. There's a giant magical school bus that goes through your guild hall and every once in a while.
It's like, excuse me, can I get another me? The Miss Frizzle spilled my meat again after, summoning the Magic School Bus on another wacky shenanigan-filled trip. Also, I'm good, just surprised to see Dino Nerds on Twitch. Yeah, there's a lot of us, actually. There's actually a lot of us.
There's a big-ass community of Dino VTubers, actually.
Mm-hmm. It's just like me and my good friend Jay here are like huge nerds about this kind of stuff.
Oh, speaking of which, I wanted to discuss about the dire wolf thing because I kind of done like I don't know how, but the community has been starting to coin the thing I call them as an actual thing what they want to refer to them as now.
What? That they're just dogs?
No. So you know the thing with like wolves, and I don't know how well you know scientific naming.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so humans are actually like the humans we're Homo sapiens sapien, which means we are technically the primary Homo sapien.
Right. Also, Celestial says, never seen him until now. Yeah, stick around. Like you'll see a lot of them pop up here. Like,
Yeah.
if you like dinosaurs, like stick around. Also, hi Hollow.
Hey, hello.
Greetings, you godless theropods.
So, to get back what I was kind of like talking about here, and yes, I won't call myself godless. I'm Native American, so I'm more
ancestors
spiritual.
list.
Yeah, I am ancestors.
Ancestor list.
We were I was talking about this with a bunch of other paleontologists.
Wait,
and,
hold up. I just thought about that, Jay. Your ancestor list. How do you exist? You need ancestors to exist.
No, you don't.
Ancestors said, please hear me.
Not if
Send
you're
me a
the
gospel
ancestor.
baby.
No, it's like every time Jay walks in, it's just like, ancestors, hear my plea, trying not to make a fool of me.
This is funny, but I'm trying to be serious here.
Okay.
This is actually a thing a lot of paleontologists and ecologists and other bio nerds have been starting to use too. So, I coined a name. What I refer to them as, because here a little backstory. If you don't know if you know anything about like human nomenclature, we are technically human, sapien, which means we're technically the main branch of sapien.
Okay.
But there are also species like Homo sapien neanderthalis, which is the Neanderthal.
Right.
Yep.
That's why they are also Homo sapiens. A little fun fact: do you know that dogs are technically wolves?
Yes.
So in their scientific name, they are known as Canis lupus familiaris.
Yep. The common dog.
Yeah, the common dog.
Yep.
So I actually been calling them the dire wolves that were made by Colossal Bioscience. I started calling them Canis lupus dirus.
Oh, so the dire wolf.
Yeah.
And it is the dire breed. I call them the gray wolf, the dire breed.
Dire
Yeah,
gray wolf.
It's the dire breed of grey wolf.
Yep.
Which, could work, yeah.
Then after I said that, a lot of paleontologists started being like, wait, that actually makes more sense than just calling them dire. We could still call them dire wolves, but if we refer to them as the scientific name, which is Canis lupus dirus, it makes a lot more sense now.
Honestly, I like that name, honestly.
Yeah.
So many people, I said this to so many people, even a TikToker started using it.
Look,
It works.
you're starting a trend. Also, Celestial Rain, thank you so much for becoming a podcast. Thank you.
It's funny. I didn't really intentionally do this. I did this out of piss off energy because I do know I love biology and paleontology and all this stuff. And when I found out that these are just essentially gray wolves but a different breed.
Yeah, no, like they basically are. Like you can literally just call them like dire gray wolves or something like that. Or the false dire wolf.
Or another name a lot of people have been using, for comparing them to, is the Cape Lion.
The what?
The Cape Lion. For any clarity, the Cape Lion is the largest species, or the largest subspecies of African lion.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Why
The
does that
cave
sound
lions.
familiar? Oh,
Not
cave
cave
lions.
lions.
Oh, Cape
Not-
lions. Cape lions.
Cape lions.
Cape.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because the reason why.
Oh yeah.
they're
I've
called-
heard of these. I've heard of these before.
They're so big because they can easily take down a Cape buffalo, and that's what makes them scary. Because that's not their normal prey. Cape buffalo is not normally their prey item. So they have especially adapted to hunt Cape buffalo. Is the reason why we refer to them as the Cape lion, African lion.
Right.
They are technically a subspecies of the normal African lion that has adapted to hunt Cape buffalo.
Yeah, because it looks like it's on the extinction list of lions.
It's
Like the
not,
like the Barbary lion.
Yeah, they kind of got like to the point where they're starting to get extinct because, yet again, human intervention. Seeing giant lion means
Yeah.
trophy hunters.
I mean, to be fair, there have been like, oh wait, here we go, different types of lions. I'm now looking at a list here. We got the West African. I actually didn't know there was this many lions. Jesus. We have.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them.
So we have the. I actually didn't know that there was a difference between the. I didn't even know there was a Congo lion. Yeah. So we have
the Congo lions live in specifically the Congo jungle.
Yeah, because we have the West African lion, we have the Southwest African lion, Asiatic lion, the Transvaal lion, Congo lion, and Nubian lion. Okay, I'm looking at the different lion species outside of the Transvaal lion. I don't really see too much of a difference.
It's the way they hunt and their body structure.
Because I know there was like, so I know there's like a group of lions that have like specialized in hunting in like swamps. Or something like that.
Yeah, they each one, the reason why they give them like different names is because they're based upon how they hunt and how they evolve to hunt in specific ways.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Cape lion is extinct, but I see this article here from the Herald. Now take it with a grain of salt, I guess, but it says Cape lion returns to happy hunting grounds back in like 2023
because they found out that a lot of lions actually share DNA with Cape lions and they found out that some of them actually returned to the location where they were hunting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Huh. So the primary difference you could probably see with each lions is probably the color of their mane. If you actually look at like the male lions, they have like different shading for each one of their manes.
Right. Actually, wait, let me see if I can pull this up for chat. That way chat can kind of see what we're talking about.
For those who don't know,
or not.
I am Doc J. I love science, and I am a biosystem engineer, so I spend a lot of time with genetics.
Yeah, and this is why I love Jay. Like, Jay's like one of my favorite VTubers just to listen to about science. Like generally speaking. Like, for me, it's a little out of my field because I am a amateur paleontologist, and the thing that I study is funny enough, I study tyrannosaurs.
Fair enough.
The T-Rex VTuber. I was gonna say the T-Rex VTuber specializes in the study of tyrannosaurs.
Wait, so not only do you study yourself,
I do.
Like what isn't that like the same thing as like how Clark Kent just does like a paper on Superman? Like I can't help but feel like there's a bit of bias here. I can't help but feel like
it's like just all the pamphlets in the park there. It's like, wow, these pamphlets about T-Rexes are really, really detailed. Yeah, I can't imagine who wrote it. Hides the pen.
I'm just saying, I feel like you might be embellishing a few things there, Grawl.
It's like what do you mean by the Tyrannosaur is, and I quote, an unstoppable badass machine? I feel like it's like I feel like you're a little biased here. No, totally. Like T-Rexes are just unstoppable. It's just called skill issue.
It's called a skill issue.
It's called a skill issue. Get on my level. No, genuinely, like Jay's really, really awesome if you want to like check him out and like learn about science and stuff. I'm trying to glaze you up here, buddy.
I know, I spoke about this like an hour on one of my streams the other day, discussing about like how this is not even the science behind it is true. This is something we normally do with genetic modification is a very common thing. Right. In today
I was gonna say, like, you can even see like bioengineering in like pets in the pet store, like those what are they, the fish that glow in like the black lights.
Yep.
Yeah, those.
Yep. When we study animals, when we find out we could change certain genetic things to help them like thrive or help them develop easier in certain locations. For example, if you didn't notice this, a specific type of genetic editing is actually vaccines.
Right.
Vaccines allow us to help like get rid of viruses and such, or not help get rid of, but help slow the spread of viruses. the same thing with like plants. We actually do a lot of genetic modification for plants to help them thrive in like
Environments where they
more
normally
hostile.
shouldn't be.
Yep. We also give like we also edit their genetics so they can actually not need pesticides either.
Right. Now, honestly, if you want to think about this, is that human beings, we are probably the most genetically altered animal on the planet. If you want, like, by what you're saying, like, with, like, vaccines, viruses, and stuff like that as a type of genetic altercation, if you want to think about it, humans are that. If
Yep.
you want to
Well,
think about it.
I wouldn't call that. That's more of an adaptation because we do technically, yes, give ourselves vaccines, but we don't change our genetic makeup at all with these
True.
vaccines. We just give ourselves a boost on our white blood cells or immunities to certain diseases. That is a given.
Right. No, no, that's fair. That's fair. I was gonna say, what do you think is like probably the most genetically like enhanced animal? Like
Dogs.
dogs? Well,
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Dogs.
Okay, good.
Yep.
I should've
Because
seen
they're
that
the
coming.
only yeah, they're the only species on this planet that has been through so many selective breeding and genetic alternations to its entire self that yet it could still breed with wolves and produce viable offspring. For clarification, what I mean by viable offspring, I mean offspring that can reproduce. This
Right.
is what
Hello, Rama.
this is why we know that dogs are technically still wolves. It's just that they look so different from wolves.
Yep.
Right, and also I don't want to know what a pug and a wolf would look like.
You don't want to know what a wolf looks like?
Let's see, pug,
A wolf?
pug,
A
wolf,
wolf.
pug, wolf hybrid. I'm terrified to know what this is gonna look like. Oh, that's okay. That's a little bit cuter than I would have thought. I'm not gonna lie. Husky cross with a pug. Oh,
No, that was a little bit more cursed.
I hate it. Go away. I love huskies. I own a husky, but like, no, just no. You go away. Go the fuck away. I feel
Yeah,
although I feel bad for pugs.
oh yeah, pugs are one of the weirdest like changes we ever did to any animal in the last 100 years. Because if you actually looked at a pug what it looked like 100 years ago, we just mortally screwed it up.
Wait, let me see your pugs. 100
Yeah, like original
years
pugs.
ago. Let me see here. Oh wow, yeah, no, what the fuck happened?
It was
They
due to
wanted-
the fact we wanted baby dogs. We wanted dogs that look like babies. That's the main reason why we got the pug.
Yeah, because like I'm looking at like 100-year-old pug, and yeah, it's vastly different.
Yep.
Yeah, because pugs originally weren't designed to be what they are today. They were actually used for rodents. Like,
Yeah.
they were bred to hunt rodents.
Yeah, they were mousers.
Yes.
I will
If you
say,
didn't want a cat, get a dog.
yeah,
They
and
basically said.
so I'm looking at here. So the boxer looks more or less the same. Looking at like a 100-year-old boxer photo next to a modern day one, it looks kind of the same, except the tail's a little bit longer, and I think the snout might be just a hair bit shorter.
Yeah, boxers were. See, the reason why the boxer didn't change as much is due to the fact that boxers are what they're supposed to be today too, which is a dog designed to guard you.
Yeah.
They're not going to change that much.
And then like the bull terrier, Jesus fucking Christ. So I was gonna say, like, you know what a bull terrier is, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So have you seen what they looked like 100 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like night and fucking day. So they don't have that iconic bow head. Also, oh, that is a name. Titty Bingus. Thank you for becoming a park guest. That is a name. But yes, welcome in, Titty. How you doing? But yeah, so like their head is very bowed, I guess is the proper term for the modern day bull terrier, and then just like the bull terrier back then, it just looks like a generic dog.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and then like it's got more of a slope stance.
Yeah.
Like that is god damn. And then like the pug. Now I think you can still get that kind of pug. I've seen that.
So you can get the pug, that the specific type of pug you see in those photos, because there are some breeders that believe in keeping the species, like the breed, the way it was.
Right.
A lot more popular breeders that a lot of the breeders you probably see like the pug is now are those are the ones that people constantly will buy because they are like people like celebrities have kind of made this fantasize. If you didn't get this type of dog, this type of pug, the way it looks, you're not really holding a pug. Even the Dog Breeders Association kind of switched over to that type of pug instead of going back to the how the pug originally looked.
Right. It's just dog breeding is a horrible bitch. No pun intended.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's more than just a bitch.
Like, okay, so I think I've mentioned this on stream before, but so when I went to go pick up Nanook is my 3-year-old husky. So when I went to go pick up Nanook from daycare, because I do a 9 to 5, and if you're a husky owner, you don't want a bored husky alone in your house. Yeah. That's the last thing you want. So I drop him off at daycare so he can, burn out that energy. So when I went to go pick up Nanook from daycare, some old lady was talking to me, and she's like, "Oh my god, he's so pretty. How old is he?" And I told him, "Well, he's 3 years old. He still has a lot of puppy energy because he's 3." And she immediately just goes, "Is he breedable?"
Excuse me?
Yeah. So she was asking if my dog was breedable. Like, just right out the gate.
That's actually a very common question among a lot of dog owners.
It is, but like...
Right,
I know it's terrible to hear that.
No,
like,
okay,
wait, what?
Okay, no, like, this is also someone who's a first-time owner of, like, a purebred dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
So... and I also I'm gonna be real, I don't really go out much.
Understandable.
So you're talking to someone who's kind of like a shut-in who has a purebred dog, and just a simple conversation like that, I'm like, excuse me?
You've been paying attention to the internet too much. That's
No, it's not even like just the internet kind of brain rot. It's more of just like, I'm like, wait, who just asked a random person, is your dog breedable? And then when I talked to Mama Rex, she's like, oh yeah, no, she was just wondering if your dog, she would like to breed your dog, basically. Because I'm guessing she either owns huskies or she knows someone who owns like huskies. And huskies make a lot of money.
They do, because they're a breed that are normally not found in the
southern
below the 49th.
Yeah.
Before the 49th parallel. Often or not, they will either see a Malamute or an Akita for more than they'll see in a husky. Because huskies are specifically bred for
the cold,
the purpose of being sled dogs. Like that's their main purpose. And that's the reason why you don't normally see them under the 49th parallel, because people in Alaska and Canada don't typically only use them for what their intended purpose is just to be a sled dog.
Right, and that's fair, because like honestly, I don't even know anybody around here who owns like a Malamute. I know there's an old lady around here who owns it's some kind of Russian dog. It was the scrawniest fucking thing I had ever seen. It was some kind of like wolf dog. It was like some kind of Russian. Let me see here. It was some kind of Russian dog. It was. Let me see if I can find it. It was super scrawny. Very hairy, scrawny. Had a long nose. What is it called?
A Wilder?
I think so.
A Weimar?
I think it was a Borzoi. It was some kind of like Russian She said it was some kind of like Russian like wolfhound or something like that. No, I think it was a Borzoi. I think it was, yeah, I think it's a Borzoi because I'm looking at a Borzoi and that looks to be about right.
Yeah, it could be a Borzoi. Yeah, that's a long dog. Because any other Russian species is typically like big because they need to survive the Arctic, like the cold climates and such.
Yeah, and
big and hairy.
Well, it's just like that's a really like kind of like oddly specific dog.
A Borzoi.
A Borzoi, yeah. And I mean, like the old lady, I know like the old lady had like some money because Borzois are pretty expensive. Speaking of husky, oh no, my husky just wanted to pop in, boot me with his nose and leave.
Very well.
You know what that reminds me of? This is another Family Guy thing. It's like Stewie Griffin going seeing his mom, being like, "Mom, mom, mama."
Oh,
He kind of does that sometimes. Like he'll just sit there and he'll want me to pet him, and then especially like when I'm about to stream, he'll want. And the weirdest thing with Nanook is that he will want you to pet his butt. He doesn't want you to pet his head. He just wants you to pet his butt.
Oh yeah, I knew a bulldog that was like that.
And then what he'll also do is that, especially like in the mornings and stuff, like when he wants to get me up, he will jump on my bed, and then he'll throw a tantrum that I'm not petting him, but yet he'll move to the part of a bed where I can't touch him.
Huh.
It's like, buddy, you wanted me to pet you, but yet you're in a place, you're at a spot on the bed where I can't pet you. And
That sounds funny as hell.
Oh yeah, he's funny. Like so the thing with him is that he doesn't do like the typical husky stuff. So he doesn't scream. He never screams.
Huh.
Yeah, like so I have a friend of mine. She has a giant like husky that's like super damn floofy. Right? He
must have some Malamute blood in him then.
Yeah, because like the dog is like super goddamn floofy, and he's a decent size
or
too.
Samoa,
probably. And he's also not like that at all. He's not like a typical husky where he's like screaming and dramatic. Now Nanook, he is also he's a husky. He can be pretty dramatic, but he's not like an over the top drama queen. He can be when he wants to go for a WALK, and I can't say that because he'll get excited, and I don't want a rowdy husky at like 8 o'clock at night.
Understandable.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's just like he does this too, like especially if I'm like doing model kit building streams, he'll get under my table, want me to pet him. And then when I try to pet him, he'll inch further and further away from the desk.
He's trying to get you to play with him.
Oh, I know. I know he does. And then I will sit there and play with him too. Like, don't get me wrong. And that's the thing with huskies. Like, they demand attention 24/7. It's like a fucking toddler.
Yep.
They're a smart one too, so that's kind of the reason why.
Honestly, an animal I would love to have as a pet would be a raven.
Bird.
Ravens. Bird.
They're birds, but they're smart.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're hella smart.
Like
very smart burps.
Like genuinely, I love ravens. Like
ravens are pretty neat.
Yeah, ravens are really cool, but like I don't think I would actually own like a bird.
Yeah.
Birds are very weird to own, mostly due to the fact that you have to take care of them a lot more than any other animal because of how they interact with the world themselves.
Yep.
And you also have to let them fly.
Yep.
You have to, and then like the smell from their poop.
The bird smell.
Oh my god, no, like I have taken care of reptiles. I will say though is that I would prefer bird poop over reptile poop. And that sounds like, okay, that sounds weird, but like I have taken care of like snakes, iguanas, turtles, and stuff like that. If you want something rancid and foul, snake shit.
Well, yeah, it's because it's mostly a liquid most of the time.
It's literally liquid animal.
Oh wait, no, I remember. I've one of the when I was a vet assistant on, I think my second week, somebody brought in like a little like constrictor python that we had to take care of. I had to help hold the snake, and he panicked and evacuated everything.
Yeah.
Onto all of my scrubs, and I'm like, excellent.
Yeah. It is.
That's how my Monday went.
It is absolutely like foul, and because it's basically just like the liquid. It's liquid soup of like, actually not even like liquid. It's like halfway digested whatever was left over. Basically, it's the bones and hair of whatever they didn't eat.
Yeah, it's partially digested, you know.
It is so fucking rancid. It was just. Ugh.
Yep.
Also, you know, fun fact is that I actually wanted to play Monster Hunter tonight.
Doesn't seem like we're gonna do that, Chief.
I mean, I am chatting with friends, so like that's perfectly fine. But like, I was gonna, so like originally I was gonna make this whole thing because Hollow, I am actually now affiliated with HLJ.
Yo.
Yeah,
I was so confused when you said that message to me like early in the morning. I was like, oh, congrats. I was half asleep when he said that.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, congrats, man.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going back to sleep.
Because like, what time is it for you over there?
It's 8:32 right now.
Okay, so you're like Central Standard.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because wait, you're halfway asleep at 7:38 in the morning?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It was 7:38 in the morning when I sent you that message. Hold on. I think I was
gonna
like,
say, because it's like, that's like hard to get. Granted, my
it was 38. It was 7:38 a.m.
I was gonna say, would you party hard?
No, I think what happened was I was distracted with something, and I was like, oh, and I was like still sleeping because I was not feeling good today. I think this morning.
Oh no, were you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I just the medicine I'm on kind of tanks my stomach and appetite a lot.
I'm also not gonna lie, I almost like I actually woke up thinking that I missed my fucking stream. So like,
you don't even stream in the morning, man.
No, like when I got home from work, I passed out for a little bit, and I woke up. I was like, "Oh God, I overslept." Because like, I go by a schedule, and if I deviate from the schedule, I flip out. Also, by the way, happy Autistic Awareness Month, everybody.
Oh wow, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Which was a terrible news that happened today. We'll discuss it after stream because I don't feel like bringing down the mood.
Oh no, you're fine.
So, yeah.
No, you're perfectly fine. I'm honestly probably gonna cut it a little bit short today because I literally just ran out of shit to talk about.
It was kind of interesting being brought into the whole. I was an accidental guest talking about the genetics of the direwolf that people have been adamant about and everything.
Yeah, because I mainly wanted to talk about the stream or talk about Hobby Link Japan and then play Monster Hunter. But then we were having fun talking about like all the genetic stuff about like say like dire wolves and de-extinction and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm just like I now like ran out of shit to talk about. Cause like okay, so like the thing with me is that like just chatting streams are like the most fun I've had streaming, but also the most difficult ones, is because I don't have a whole lot of interesting stories to tell. Because I'm kind of just like a shut-in.
Understandable. I don't have a lot of interesting stories either, so I know the feeling.
So like, but like the other thing is like I'm starting to like slowly get better at these. Like genuinely, I'm starting to get slowly better at them. It's just like I gotta like trust in like my people skills.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people are now starting to make these fucking Game of Thrones memes already about these damn dire wolves.
I mean, that was kind of a given. That was definitely going to happen somehow.
The funniest thing, I'm sorry to say this, I find this funny, is that they like the way they changed the gray wolves to look like that color is highly inaccurate to the actual animal, and I knew that for a fact by looking at the white fur that they just based it off of the Game of Thrones dire wolf.
Oh, absolutely! Like literally looking at them, I'm like, you just base them off of what Game of Thrones says what a dire wolf is, or hell, not even like Game of Thrones, just like fantasy and like fantasy media in general thinks what a dire wolf is, because fantasy media will sit there and say, oh, a dire wolf is just a big wolf,
which is highly inaccurate, as they're about pretty much a similar size to the actual gray wolf, like to an actual wolf.
Yeah, because I want to.
Animals.
Let me see here, because dire wolf compared to a gray wolf. Here we go. Let's see here. See if I can find one. And like dire wolves aren't even really like that big. I mean, they're big, but like not like Game of Thrones big. I'm trying to find a picture of a dire wolf compared to a regular wolf without like watermarks or like memes.
Oh yeah, they're very weird animals.
Let's see.
If I could find one for you. Here is one. This can kind of give you like a good idea of how big they are compared to gray wolves.
Let me see here. I was gonna say, oh wait, there we go. I was gonna say, is that a gray wolf next to a dire wolf?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
that's what a gray wolf looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's like, okay. So let me show them. Yeah, and also a dire wolf wouldn't have a snow white coat.
Yeah, they look more like jackals or coyotes.
Yeah, like I would imagine they would have something akin to like the coat of like a jackal or like a coyote or something. Just not like, yes, they lived in the Ice Age, but not like everything in the fucking Ice Age had like snow white fur.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a very interesting thing about what people thought of like most of the animals from the animal kingdom in North America. A little fun fact: North America was basically this the northern version of the African Sahara, Serengeti.
The African spaghetti.
The African spaghetti. A lot of experts will call North America the American Serengeti. Yeah, Serengeti. Yeah, because we have a lot of similar.
Now I'm just thinking of like all the megafauna just doing the Italian hand gestures.
It's spaghetti.
Now I'm just like imagining like the dire wolves over here chasing the gray wolf with like the Italian hand gestures, like, hey, come on and get out of our food.
Yeah, the as you can probably look there, they're pretty much similar in size, and their jaw structure, as you can tell, their jaw structure is similar too.
Yeah, but they're not dire wolves though.
Yeah, they're not dire wolves. The one thing that kind of like a big misconception with dire wolves and gray wolves is that they are common relatives, which is not true. This has been disproven already, and this is why I kind of like the one thing I hate about Colossal Science. This entire thing was that they said, "Oh, yeah, we used the gray wolf genome because they are the closest living relatives." That's not true. I already explained this.
Yeah,
it's just mostly.
In fact, actually, let me see here. Dire wolves Closest relatives.
It's probably going to give you like a.
It says while direwolves share some superficial similarities with gray wolves, genetic evidence indicates that they are distant relatives, having diverged from other wolf types nearly 6 million years ago. Colossal Bioscience recently claimed to have extinguished the direwolf by gene editing technology to alter the genes of a gray wolf, the prehistoric direwolf's closest living relatives. But they're not.
They're not. That's like basically calling us, saying the same thing about, oh, our closest relatives are the chimpanzee.
Yeah, because like now I'm going to Google and all of them say like gray wolf, gray wolf, gray wolf, gray wolf, gray wolf.
Yeah, because of what Colossal Science kind of did.
What, that they just bought out? Like everybody be like, hey, alter this shit for us?
They spread misinformation. That's what they did.
Hang on, I'm going to go to the forbidden knowledge area known as Wikipedia.
Oh, Wikipedia is probably the best you're probably gonna find for anything, because they try to make sure everything is up to date.
I gotta go deal with dog. I'll see you guys later.
All right. Yeah. So let's go to was this Canania, the subfamily, subtribe.
So Canania is mostly all dogs. That's the
I'm
biggest.
So hang on, let me see here. So okay, so I'm kind of looking at like the family tree here. So we have the dire wolf, and then we go up, and then let me go down. Actually, yeah, the closest would be the side striped jackal, or the black back jackal,
or the African jackal. Like,
yeah,
a lot of African jackals are probably more likely to get similarities because they are not part of the Canis family. They are part of their own, which is known as Anachronia.
Yep, because like, so I'm looking here and it says that the closest living relative of the gray wolf is the domestic dog.
Yep, and it's the only one with a genetic close similarities. That's why we could breed them dogs.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, no, so these people literally just pulled shit out of their ass.
Yep, and this is why so many of the paleo community, biology community, and anyone that deals with genetics already know this is not true. This is something that's been fabricated just for a little like
clout,
notoriety.
Basically, based.
Yeah. And this is why we kind of don't like Colossal Bioscience, because they're using, like, the best way we could describe them is buzzwords. They're trying to make it sound like, oh, we found the way to bring back extinct animals, and this is how we did it. And they're making it sound like it was the biggest thing in the entire world, which is not. Don't get me wrong, the gene editing process is pretty cool, but that's a common thing we already know how to do.
Right. Also, you want to know what's cool? Like here in Florida, we actually have a species of wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the red wolf. They're very rare.
See, that's what they're going to try to do next, is bring some more population of red wolves back into the...
Yeah, because like here in Florida, we have some very rare species. The Florida panther is one of them, and the red wolf is even rare.
Yep.
And if we could at least bring back them, that would be great. Now, the kind of like, wait, hang on, let me actually see here. So it says Floridianus, Gregory, and then Rufus. So I'm guessing that's just the range of like all the red wolf species.
Pretty much.
Doesn't look very red. Yeah, so the red wolf looks more of like, I guess you could say is like a large coyote.
Oh yeah, there's not much difference between a red wolf's coloration than a coyote's coloration.
Yeah, it's just they also just look really cool, but they're one of our state's most rarest animals. That, and also things like the Florida crocodile, which apparently that one's actually making a comeback.
Oh yeah, the Florida crocodiles got like starting to get a little bit better because now we're trying to control their population a little bit better.
I expected a ginger wolf.
Trust me, a lot of people when they hear red wolf, they immediately think, "Oh, it must be like a red tint to the coloration." No, it just looks like a coyote.
Yeah, I don't even know why it's called a red wolf.
Let me look that.
Also,
up.
we're
There might
about
be
to
a
have an
reason.
ad break here in about a couple of minutes for those who are not subscribed.
I keep forgetting Red Wolf was also the name of a Marvel superhero.
But wait, if Red Bull gets you wings, what does Red Wolf get you?
Classified super species has been used for the near century, being classified either as a subspecies.
That is the question. Actually, you know what? At the end of this raid, I know exactly who we're gonna. At the end of this stream, I know who we're gonna raid. Talking about all this paleontology stuff.
You're gonna raid?
No, we're not raiding right now. I'm just saying, like, I know who we're gonna raid once this is all done.
One of the coolest little things I found about like the red wolf, it is yet again the same thing I kind of discussed about earlier about the dire wolf, or the dire gray wolf.
Right.
Is that Canis? This is the same thing I've kind of discussed this earlier. But we referred to these as subspecies. The red wolf is technically a subspecies of gray wolf.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a Canis lupus rufus.
Yep, Canis rufus, yep, red wolf. And then we have Canis lycon, which is the timber wolf.
Yep. Which are technically, yet again, gray wolves.
I was going to say, because it seems like gray wolves seem to have, like, a large umbrella in terms of, like, subspecies.
Oh, they do, because how widely diverse they can adapt to, and that's the benefit or reason why we used wolves as the main focal point for dogs, because they are just like us. They adapt just as fast as we do.
Yeah, because I'm like looking at like the wolf family tree, because you got like the Canis lupus, so the gray wolf, then you have the domestic dog, and if we go up a little bit, then actually if we go up here up the ladder, then the other closest living relative is the coyote.
Yeah,
that is actually really interesting.
And this is the reason why, yet again, I'm going to say this. Coyotes can interbreed with wolves, and they can have viable they have the coy wolf, and that can also have viable children.
That's really cool.
You can always tell how close something is genetically based upon how their hybrid offspring would react and like develop. This is why like animals like lions and tigers, when they crossbreed, they can have an offspring.
A liger.
But it's not viable.
Right, it's a hybrid. And hybrids, if I remember correctly, all hybrids are sterile.
Yep, they're infertile. They can reproduce.
Right.
And that's why we know that they're close enough genetically to have children, but not genetically enough to make children.
Right.
It's a very weird weird understanding of how genetics work with animals.
Wait, let me see. And now people are like, oh, well, if we could bring back, and I just saw this in these fucking news article. It's like, well, if we could bring back direwolves, can we bring back dinosaurs? No.
No, dinosaurs are already around and they're...
Dinosaurs are too far gone. Like non-avian dinosaurs, they are too far gone.
And if you're going to try to bring them back in the same process, it's not even a dinosaur anymore. It's more of an evolved version of a
bird.
Avian dinosaur.
Yeah, and you can't get a sauropod out of an avian dinosaur. You just can't. Yeah. You would more than likely just get fucking like dromaeosaurs. At best, you'll get dromaeosaurs.
Yeah, at best, a dromaeosaur.
Which, don't get me wrong, that's kind of cool. I don't know if you know this, but there was a guy who made I think it's like an art book, and they're called Novosaurs. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah, Novosaurs. So
yeah.
So chat, and so what we're talking about here is Novosaurs are basically, it's like a what if future, where we have cracked the code of basically bringing back dinosaurs, and we could basically tailor make these dinosaurs. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Novosaurus, not Novasaurus. Novosaurus. My bad. Yeah, so basically it is like tailor-made dinosaurs. I guess it's like depending on like the breed of bird that you breed it with, basically.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool. And I feel like if we were to do something similar to like de-extinction, quote unquote de-extinction dinosaurs, you would get something like this, which isn't de-extinction, it's more like devolving. You're going backwards. You're taking an animal and you're going backwards.
There are two ways to look at this. We could either go, yeah, this is de-evolving, or maybe even genetically changing them to look specifically like making a breed, like selective breeding.
Yeah, it's like what Novosaurus did.
Yeah.
Because we can see here that these are all like the viable breeding species of like Novosaurs. Which is kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a very interesting discussion about this, because there's also a lot of speculative evolution on the idea of what would happen if dinosaurs continue to evolve and then go extinct.
Right, and also sadly no. The closest that you'll get is hot anime T-Rex VTubers. This is about as close as you're gonna get. Which there are a few. There are a few hot T-Rex VTubers.
Yeah.
Now, also, you mentioned like stuff like if dinosaurs never went extinct, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you've heard of this because it's a classic with like speculative evolution. But it's called Dougal Dixon's The New Dinosaurs. Have you heard of that, or?
Yep.
Yeah. So essentially, it's a what if scenario of like, well, what if the dinosaurs never went extinct? Now, granted, let me see here. The new. Oh wait, hang on. Scroll lock. There we go. Yeah. So the new dinosaurs. Now, granted, a lot of the stuff is actually pretty out of date, but at the time, it was pretty viable. And so, weirdly enough, apparently it was really popular in Japan. Surprise, surprise. Huh? Say what?
It was a very popular thing in Japan, because a lot of things with Japan, they love dinosaurs. Dinosaurs like their favorite things.
Oh my god, yeah, it is. But also at the same time, so I guess speculative evolution is big in Japan because.
Oh yeah, because they. Oh, sorry.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say, because speculative evolution is one of the biggest things in Japan, because they are it stems from like a lot of fantasy and sci-fi idealism they have in their world.
Right.
Not the word they're in there.
In fact, actually, I don't know if you want to sit here and look at, for a little bit, the Fukui dinosaur exhibit.
I might. I have to go outside to go put my dog away, or try to, because he's been kind of a butt about
Yeah,
it.
because we'll probably wrap it up here soon.
All right.
But no, what I was saying though is that like, so basically in Japan, so if you remember The Future is Wild, that got really, really popular in Japan. I think even to the point to where they actually made like a spin-off show about it. Yes.
Yeah, they made a cartoon show for it.
Say what?
They made a cartoon show of it.
Yeah. Let me see here, because if I go to the Future is Wild, yeah, I think they actually made a manga out of it too. Basically, TLDR, it got stupidly popular in Japan. And I don't blame them. And it also, things like the New Dinosaurs also got really, really popular in Japan. And I think also After Man got really, really popular in Japan. Because for some reason, Japan really loves the idea of speculative evolution. Which I honestly don't blame them, but I think it's just kind of weird with like things that get popular in Japan that come from the West. There's a lot of celebrities over here that you wouldn't think would get popular in Japan, but they love them in Japan. A good example is the actor, like the good example, like a very good example of this is like Bruce Willis. Like, like Bruce Willis is really popular here, but like in Japan, they adore him. Cause like they love Die Hard. Another one that got really, really popular in Japan were like, Arnold Schwarzenegger also got stupidly popular in Japan. And other things like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson also huge in Japan. Like the Japanese loved Michael Jackson to the point where he actually influenced a lot of like anime characters. Like, I think it's like the main villain from Demon Slayer was heavily inspired by Michael Jackson. If you play Blaze Blue, the main villain Hazama or Terumi, he was based off of Michael Jackson. And in fact, actually, a lot of his moves are based around Michael Jackson. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the stuff like, say, like The Future's Wild, The New Dinosaurs, and After Man, really popular in Japan. Stupidly popular in Japan. But, let me see here. So I'm trying to think what other stuff to go over real quick, because if there's nothing else to go over, if I knew a little bit more about like the whole tariff situation, I would go over that. But as we say in the army, it is above my pay grade to understand. I am not one who looks at politics and world economics and stuff like that. So that is completely and utterly outside of my world of like understanding. I'm more so of like, say, pop culture, obviously like paleontology and stuff like that, and other things as well. But yeah, so like this week is going to be a little bit of a shorter week because I do have military duty this weekend. And then next weekend, I'm going to be out of town. I will be going back to Georgia. Yes, I am in the Army. Yes, I have been serving for about 6 years, and I'm actually going to be leaving service. Here, welcome back. No, someone was asking me about that I'm in the Army. It's like, yes, I have been in for about 6 years. I am leaving service, I want to say, let me look at my calendar. So I will be leaving service technically in July. But yes, if you're new here, this place is very, very pro-military. I'm very pro veteran. Like, I like to thank my fellow, soldiers and veterans. I like to thank them for their service because it's not easy. I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's not easy going through basic combat training, having to deal with tear gas, getting shot at, getting screamed at, having to ruck march 25 miles. It's not easy. It is true what they say about basic combat training, in that it is the best experience that you'll never want to do again. No, it doesn't sound too fun. It's a mind game, in all honesty. It's mainly just to kind of weed out the ones who are weak. and keep the ones who want to stay, because I may not have had a good experience with the military, but it's I do recommend people to join if they want to sign up, because it does have a lot of good perks. It does have a lot of like good benefits, like TRICARE. TRICARE is, you know, can't go wrong with TRICARE. You're covered, your family's covered, your kids are covered until they're 25. But I'm not here to I'm not glazing the army tonight. But that being said, because we were talking about prehistoric life, what we're going to do is that, let me see if this man is on. I want to see if this man is on tonight, because we're going to send the fun over to the dad. We're going to say hi to Dad. Jay, you want to say hi? You want to say hi to Dad?
He's not on. Oh, he is on.
He is very much on.
Just dad.
The dad, yeah, Damien.
Oh, I thought you referred to the one you always say is your dad.
Who, Red Claw?
Yeah.
Nah, that Red Claw's the okay. You know what's funny? It kind of reminds me of like Guardians of the Galaxy with Yondu.
Yeah.
The quote that he tells Star-Lord is like, he might have been your dad, but he wasn't your daddy.
It might have been your dad, but he ain't your daddy.
That's kind of like Red Claw and Damien.
Okay. I get it.
But what?
No. Don't mind me. Do your closing remarks.
No, I was gonna say, because like all the Dino VTubers for the most part call him Dad. He's the Dino Dad.
I don't call him Dad. He is technically, I don't know how to refer to him, but he's not my king. That's all I gotta say.
No, you're fine. It's just a funny joke, because he acts like the dad of like all the groups that he's in. But
I think I'm about the same age as him.
Yeah, he's actually a lot older than me. But yeah, we're gonna go say hi to Damien. I will be back tomorrow. Since we were yapping today, we're gonna play Monster Hunter tomorrow. But yeah, I just wanted to sit here and talk about like my new sponsor and everything. But yeah, no, so I will be back tomorrow with some Monster Hunter. And let's go say hi to Damien, shall we? Good night, everybody.